The 22nd year of the Asia Road Racing Championship will reach a thunderous finale this afternoon at the Chang International Circuit in Buriram, northeast Thailand. We'll be crowning Helmi Asman of Malaysia as champion of the underbone 150cc category. We'll see if Asia Production 250 champion Reza Danica of Indonesia can record his 7th win of the season, and we'll wrap up with a thrilling, mesmeric ending to the Supersport 600cc Championship. 4 riders in contention for the title. It's the story of the Thai, the Indonesian, the Australian and the Malaysian defending champion. 2 Yamaha, 2 Kawasaki, winner takes all. A day of destiny beckons at the destination of speed. This is the Asia Road Racing Championships. And to help us through the permutations, we have a former world champion to guide us through, Steve Martin, world endurance champion, 18 years on the Superbike World Championship grid, celebrating his birthday today as well, Steve. Happy birthday, but first things first, talk us through this circuit and what you're expecting of today.
Well, we're in for a delight of racing today. I mean, this Buriram circuit, the Chang International Raceway, has thrown up some fantastic racing in its short few years that it's been around. We saw that yesterday. I'm really looking forward to today. It's the last race of the year for these guys, so they've got it all to play for in all of the classes today. But the track itself, it's wide, it's flowing, and there's plenty of overtaking opportunities, which makes it fantastic to watch as a spectator. I'm really looking forward to it.
Obviously, we've got the 600s, which will bring a finale, but the underbone 150s, it's a different kind of racing. It's a very Southeast Asian style, and we've introduced it to Australia this year, and I believe you're a fan.
I certainly am. We're all still talking about it down there too. I mean, the racing is so close, and it's frenetic. I mean, there's take no prisoners out there. They really give it all that they've got. It's taken very, very seriously. And I tell you what, these guys that race those motorcycles, they do know how to ride, and they are top-level racers in every sense of the word. So what we're seeing now, although it's probably not the premium race of the day, it's going to be one of the most exciting.
Okay, let's turn our attentions to the underbone 150cc, and there are 2 races every race weekend. Yesterday on race number 1, it was a personal triumph for Wawanwelo, who only joined the circuit in Central last time out. He started on pole. He would finish as race winner, but in between there was an awful lot of toing and froing.
Oh, there certainly was. It was an incredible race for Wawanwelo. He got off to a fantastic start and led the field away. But we didn't think it would end like that. This class is always crazy. Effendi, Rosley right behind him from the start as they head onto that long back straight. And you can just see with the different the bikes passing backwards and forwards around the place here. It really did throw up some close racing.
It is only 8 laps of the track, so the number of changes, the number of lead changes is quite phenomenal. That's Wawanwelo in the middle of the pack there. He was always there at the front. As you say, you can start as late as 15 on the grid, and there was Wawanwelo being pushed back to 11th position, and he was able, even from there midway through, to get himself up to the front.
Yeah, he certainly did. He did a great job there to make his way forward, and I guess that proves, you can see him there just on the inside with Shirel Amin having another battle there for the lead. They were really taking it, it in their stride, and that's I think one of the Yamaha riders, Adji, I think, who went down. So unfortunately for him, it was the end of the road, but he gets another chance today. But Shirel Amin led the race and was out the front there for a while. But number 38, what a weekend for him. He's just got better and better and better in this series.
Wawanwelo took it. Helmi Asman taking 2nd place, and for Helmi Asman, that was the fabulous result because it meant that he was the champion. Wawan is the one who's punching the air, but Helmi Asman on the Honda is now got an unassailable lead at the top of the standings. This is the circuit that we've just seen. What are the good overtaking points, and where are the problem areas?
Well, every corner is a problem area, as we saw yesterday, and every corner is exciting just for that reason. There's plenty of lines on the entry that you can dive up the inside. It's notoriously most of the passes you'll see here will be in the slipstream and into the next corner. But it's just the beauty of this circuit and the way that it's designed. It just really does make many different entry lines. You can cut up the inside of the competitor. You can even go around the outside. You've got to try and hold your line here and don't give quarter. That's what it's all about.
Wawanwelo just having his helmet being checked there by scrutineers. Just to have a little idea on what's going on there. Alongside him on the start grid. This is Pirapong Lubempeng, who crashed, didn't do well. He crashed out yesterday on the Yamaha. Next to him, Effendi Rosley, who was up at the front end of the pack much of the time.
Yeah, definitely a contender for today's race. He's got the pace to be there at the end. Just needs to work on his positioning, and perhaps if he can get himself in the right position on that final lap, he'll be in a much better chance of getting that victory. We know he's a rider that can do it, so good luck to him.
On the second row of the grid, this is the defending champion, Akid Aziz. He is the outgoing champion, the UMA Racing Yamaha team. He's had a consistent-ish season without really reaching the heights, but Haziq Farouz, I like this young fella, 17 years of age and brave as they come.
Absolutely, he really is a young charger in this class. He worked his way backwards yesterday. I'm sure he's going to be trying to make himself felt in this race.
For Yuzi Honda, more experienced Amrul Arif Musa, and I'm wondering if we're going to have a chance to have a little look at Ahmed Fazli Shan, who's starting 7th on the grid, a real veteran. He's 15-year veteran in the ARRC. Here is Ahmed Fazli Shan, and he has got a chance of making, well, he can't win the title because that's already got to Helmi, but he has got a chance of making it into 2nd place, which for a veteran in this kind of company would be a terrific result.
Yeah, he's definitely up against it. He's got guys like Charles Amin, all of this, just, you know, the top 15 or 20 in this class can win it. There's Wayo Aji, we saw him, he had that crash yesterday. He won't want that to happen again today, that's for sure. So he's one of the guys that is normally up there in the front. He wasn't able to achieve that yesterday, but you can be assured that he'll be in the thick of the action this time around. Just is that Zaidi there?
Yes.
Just getting his machine started up.
Wayo Aji is a former champion at the 130cc as it was in 2016. Gupita Krishna, another former champion at that level, a 2-time champion. He's also in the lineup today. It's a 27-strong grid, and the way these guys get so close, that can be pretty competitive in there.
Well, absolutely. It's just so close, and so much slipstreaming. It really does come down. I mean, it looks crazy from the outside when we're watching the racing. I mean, it really does. It's hard to know who's going to be where or what's going to happen. But these guys are all very smart. And you've got different age groups, from the very youngest to, as we just mentioned before, some of the oldest and strongest heads out there. It's a great learning class. All the bikes are very even, and all the brands are even as well. So it comes down to who's the bravest man or woman on the day.
Indeed, indeed. Let's just run you through the starting grid of the 27 riders. Juan Wello on pole alongside Pirapong of Thailand and the Malaysian Effendi Rosley. It's non-Malaysian second row, Akid Aziz, Haziq Farouz, the youngster, and Amrul Arif Musa. Look out for Ahmed Fazli Sham. I have a feeling he might do something today alongside the Indonesian pairing of Charles Amin and Wayo Aji Chulaksana on the 3rd row. Moving down, you've got Australia's Travis Hall. Like to see him get into the front group. Fakruzi Shakarin and Gupita Krishna, who isn't used to being a bystander. Ayman Azman, Shafiq Ayman, and Izzat Zaidi, who is currently 2nd in the championship standings on the 5th row. McKinley Kyle Paz from Philippines, Haikal Akmal and Sutipat from Thailand completing the 6th row. On to 7. There's the champion, Helmi Azman, 19th fastest in qualification, alongside the diminutive Mio Nakahara. She crashed out yesterday. Chanachai from Thailand on row 7. On row 8, you've got Sawapol, Akarak and Reza Falevi, who came from 24th in the grid to finish 6th yesterday. And on row 9, the Vietnamese pairing of Lacan Lok and Tota Dongni alongside Adib Rosley. So, as Reza Falevi showed, you can start that far down the grid, Steve Martin, and still get yourself close to a podium position.
Yeah, you absolutely can. That's the beauty of this circuit. Once again, the straights here are very long for these machines, and they're quite good for the slipstreaming, which means that if you can get a good slipstream, it's pretty easy to work your way through. We saw Helmi Azman do that as well yesterday, and also Adib Rosley. Both of those guys had problems in qualifying, which got them knocked back down the field, and they managed to work their way through. So it's definitely going to be an exciting race ahead. And as I said, oh no! Is that Wayo Aji already? Oh, what a weekend he's had.
Nightmare.
Oh, he can't get it going. Obviously, whatever the problem was yesterday from that crash, he had the morning warmer to fix that up, but the team are devastated. Not what he wanted. There's no way he's going to be starting this one, Des.
Well, he's a long way from the pit lane. Even if he was able to get himself back there, everybody else is now beginning to form up for the starting grid. And as you say, Waiwaji Chilaksana, he's had the joy of winning a title, and now there's nothing worse than surely being out on the formation lap and then not finishing it.
Oh, he'll be distraught, absolutely distraught. Not what he needed. He needed a good result here to finish the year off. He could have got one too, so I'm devastated for him.
The red helmet, yellow livery of Wawonwelo will be on pole, extreme right. Pirapong will just make his way into second place. There is our champion, a lowly 39th on the grid, but he's wearing the gold. He can be 19th and still be champion. So looking forward to this. Wawonwelo looking to build on yesterday's victory. He's had an impressive start to his championship. It's only his second event. Red lights are off and we are underway, and Wawonwelo, he lifted up, and that's a poor start from him. It means that Effendi Rosley can go forward into the lead, and Wawonwelo has been left way behind.
Yeah, certainly has. That was a terrible start for him. He's already dipping up the inside there. Effendi Rosley in third at the moment as they head down the straight.
It's an 8-lap race, so there's plenty of time to sort yourself out as Pirapong Luboinpeng makes his way to the front. They come down the hill. It's not the most undulating of tracks.
It's not, but look at the way they spread out down this straight. Everybody's just searching for that slipstream as they head in.
And Wawonwelo has got himself back into the front. What a fabulous recovery.
And look at the ground he made up through that corner. He's got 3 or 4 bike links on the field already. What an incredible ride by this young guy. He's only worked his way up since he's been in this championship. This is his 4th race. He got a win last time out. If he can get a double win here, it'll be an incredible weekend. But you can see Helmi Asman in second position there now with that gold livery on his machine. He won't want to finish second to Wawonwelo, will he?
And then Helmi Asman is the man who's swallowed them all up. This is just the first lap. We can expect this kind of jousting throughout, but clearly Helmi has got a point to prove, and so has Wawonwelo.
Straight up the inside there. That was a great move by Wawonwelo. He's asserting his dominance. He's very, very confident on the machine now. So good to see him up there in that slipstream, and he's definitely not scared to fight.
He's still got himself into the lead, and Ahmed Fazli Sham has got himself into a reasonable position as well amongst the front starters. This is all just in the first lap. We've not even had our first 12 corners, and we've had multiple changes of lead.
No, absolutely. Shirel Amin was there as well with Rosley.
Fazli Sham looks on the inside, and Fazli takes Wawonwelo. He goes into corner 12. Plenty of action expected on this, and as they go over the start-finish line at the end of lap 1, it's Ahmed Fazli Sham, Welo Akid, Helmi Asman, Ayman Asman, and Fakruzi with Kupita Krishna in 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. As they head in, it's Wawonwelo has got back into the lead already. Fazli Sham is there. He got... Look at the way that he just dipped under the inside there, kept the line on the inside, and knocked Helmi Asman out, and pretty much made a line through for 3 or 4 guys there. So it was a pretty bold move and a strong move by the man in second position at the moment. But Helmi Asman's having none of it, and we've got a few of the guys diving up the inside. Akid Aziz is in there as well.
Ahmed Fazli Sham as well. I do think Ahmed Fazli has got a lot to fight for, because a victory today might be able to enable him to overhaul Izzat Zaidi, who we've not really mentioned. Izzat starting in 15th place, 2nd overall in the championship. As they went through lap 1, he's still in 15th place. So Ahmed Fazli Sham, who's in a right old battle with Wawonwelo and Helmi Asman, and in the lead at the moment for the 1XOX TKR Racing team. He's put in some flying laps early on.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out front at the moment. Once again, using the slipstream down that mid-back straight. As they head through one of the most technical parts of this circuit, through 6 and 7, you've really got to get a good drive. And there he goes again, Wawonwelo. He's so good on the change of direction. This time, Helmi Asman decides to take through the track as well. But of course, the number 13, Akid Aziz, is doing a fantastic job up there too.
Akid Aziz is right amongst them. Ayman Asman is in that group. Kupita Krishna also in there. How many lead changes have we had so far?
Yep.
And all this is building up to a final lap.
It certainly is. We've got Shirel Amin that's joined that group as well. He's just back there in 4th position. It's really, you've just got to try your hardest to be in this front group at the moment and stay out of trouble. But every corner, look at that up the inside from the number 199. That is Shirel Amin. Takes over 2nd position, but not for long.
Wawanwelo leads as they come through at the end of lap 2, ahead of Akid Aziz and Shirel Amin. Ahmed Fazli Sham drops down to 4th, now up to 3rd, because Helmi Asman has dropped down a little bit further, that gold livery, but these changes are going to really continue. Well,
we've got a problem. We've got a problem. I think that's Shirel Amin. He's just had his hand off the handlebar there.
It was Shirel Amin.
But he's rejoined the group. Maybe, I didn't see what happened, but maybe he ran off the track and he let some people pass so he didn't get a penalty. I don't know, but he seems to have maintained pace at the moment. Who's in the lead there, Des? I've got no idea.
Sham is in the lead, but that'll be for about 1 second, and a little look back from Wawanwelo.
Yeah, well, something's happened in that group. Someone's not happy about something, and they're all looking around and trying to figure it out. But Shirel Amin, although he took his hand off the handlebar, he's definitely picked up the pace in the middle of that pack now.
Okay, who's next to take the lead? Coming through was Pirapong Lupoinpeng, who didn't finish the race yesterday, but this is fabulous underbone. This is what you expect on underbone racing.
Absolutely. The number 24, Pirapong Lupoinpeng, goes through there too. Didn't finish yesterday, so it'll be important for him to get a good result here.
Ahmed Fazli Sham, the veteran, leading the way, keeping his cool. Pirapong in close pursuits, the orange livery and the gold of Helmi Asman, the champion. He wanted to go on the inside, but has wisely decided just to stand his bike up, avoid any contact, and that means he drops from 1st to 5th.
Which he wouldn't be too worried about at the moment. I mean, you can be in the top 10 in this group and not too much. I mean, it's just an incredible display of close riding between these guys. Look at the closeness of it all.
Nerves of steel. Ahmed Fazli Sham leads into corner 12. This is the difficult one. Mayhem often results on this corner, particularly on the last lap, and it will be going through the start-finish line. Fazli Sham, Akid, Wawanwelo, Pirapong, Shirel Amin, and Reza Falevi once again. Reza started 24. He's in that front group, just at the tail, leading that 2nd group of riders.
And of course, he's another wild card filling in this weekend. So it seems to be a very good weekend for the wild cards.
Wawanwelo in just his 2nd race of the season. Didn't have a podium on the 1st weekend, but did get a very good 4th. Here he picked up a win yesterday. That's him in the red helmet. And dragging through with him, is that Akid Aziz? He's dragging through. Akid takes a look on the inside, and it's Akid who takes the lead. And Wawanwelo, what's this sitting up so high, Wawanwelo, and the looking back? What's this all about?
Yeah, it's really difficult to know. He's having a look around. He's just, he could be just trying to suss out who's there, who's up the front, where their lines are, what he's got to look out for. But I tell you, at the moment, it's just anybody's race. I mean, there's any line, everything goes at the moment. You've just got to be in that front group.
Well, Wawanwelo, we saw him stand up, and now he dropped from 1st into 10th. He was just swallowed up by the pack. We've got 4.5 laps still to go. We're not even at the halfway stage here. A new race leader.
I think Admiral Arif Musa's moved up into that front group as well. He's in there doing a good job at the moment. But it's pretty much the same guys up near the front though. There he is, Admiral Musa.
Well, Helmi Asman there takes his way, and the Fendi Rosley, he's easy to pick out in the orange livery. He's in
definitely.
3rd.
Fakruzi is also in that group now. He's the tallest guy in the field for sure. Slipstream would be hurting him here. He's got a lot of mid-corner speed. He's on the number 65 machine, so you expect to see him. He's so strong in the braking area. Oh, on the ripple strip and a little bit more as they head into turn 12. Got to be really careful not to go off the track there. We saw a few people penalised yesterday.
Akid Aziz leads as they come through lap 4. Helmi Gupita Krishna, Fendi Rosley, Ayman and Admiral Arif Musa and Reza Falevi. There is less than 1 second between bikes number 1 and 11, and less than 2 seconds between bikes 1 and 18.
You do not want to finish 1.5 seconds off the lead in this race, because you'll be going home out of the points. It's an incredible display. These guys are just so close together on track once again. Oh, big moment there.
Is it Admiral Fendi Rosley who slowed down?
No, Fendi Rosley got collected by, I didn't see the number of the bike, but we see him heading down the straight there. There's a Fendi Rosley. He's hit the back of, I think that is, Akid Aziz. So wow, whether Akid Aziz moved over, not sure, but definitely a bit of a racing incident going on there.
I've got one or two Malay swear words in my vocabulary. I'm sure they were utilised there, but he's back, and I'm just looking at him because he put his foot down, and there could be an injury there. If you jaw your knee at that kind of speed, it does affect you.
It certainly does. The other thing is you'll notice these guys now, when they're out of control, and the break 3 goes through. Incredible overtaking manoeuvre.
Of course, really wide is Shaul Amin, who had a problem before, and all the time Warren Wello, who went from 1st to 11th, he's back in the front. He lets Helmi Asman come through.
Yeah, absolutely. Up the inside. What a manoeuvre that is. And Shaul Amin goes through too, but he runs out of track and runs off onto the green, and once again puts his hand up and lets a couple of people go through, hoping to not be penalised.
Reza Falevi, bike 75, yellow helmet, in 3rd place. He's causing 1 or 2 problems for the front two as they come through. It is Helmi Asman. We're just over halfway now. Reza Falevi follows Helmi Asman, but it's Warren Wello who will lead. Warren from Helmi, from Reza for Akid. Let's just look at these times. 1.847 seconds between 1 and 14. McKinley Carl-Paz, he's only 2 seconds adrift. He's in 15th.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned McKinley Carl-Paz. Of course, he's here this weekend as well, filling in. He's had some good results throughout the year, so it'd be good to see if he could get right up in amongst this front group.
Just at the going through now.
There's another handoff. We've got a problem there with one of the machines.
Is that a Fendi Rosley? I think it may well be.
It could be. Perhaps when he had that problem earlier on, he may well have damaged the front wheel or front disc or something, and that could be the end of his race. It looks like he's pulled off. He's not in that leading group anymore, so that's not a good weekend.
Pirapong,
it was.
Pirapong, because I saw a Fendi Rosley still in there. So Pirapong, it's not been a great weekend for him.
It's a double non-finish for Pirapong, unfortunately. Fendi Rosley's there on the orange bike, just in the mid-pack at the moment. Oh, how close is that up the front?
Well, Wello just allows somebody to go on the inside.
The thing about this underbone racing is the evenness of the riders and the bikes and the competition. I mean, look at it. We've been going now for 7 laps, and it could be the first lap.
But in the Super Bowl, Warren Wello was a good 2.5 clear of everybody else. How do you explain that?
Well, quite easily. He put together the best lap, but in racing, it's a different story, because that slipstream just drags everyone along. And that is the reason that the groups are so close in this underbone racing.
Akid Aziz leading the Umo Racing Yamaha. Well, he was leading until Warren Wello on the Yamaha Yamalube overtakes him, and Helmi Asman is right there in support. He's just making sure he's not letting one get away. And Fazli Sham also went there in the dark livery. As we come through, it'll be 2 laps to go after this. Warren Wello leads the way. He's led in 5 of the 6 end of laps.
Did you see that? Warren Wello once again had a big lead, puts his head up, he sits up, looks right over his shoulder to see what's going on behind him. They're all there, Warren.
Is he just teasing? Is he just saying, I'm the man, I'm the man?
I don't know how confident he is, but he seems to be pretty confident at the moment, doesn't he?
Head down, using the full width of the track. Helmi Asman pulls across. It's Ahmed Fazli Sham, who had a steely glint in his eye as he went through the pit lane earlier on.
I don't think there's any point, and I think all of these riders know it, there's no point to try and break away. You know, there's no point to use everything you've got to do a fast lap time to break away from this group, perhaps risk crashing because you push too hard, because you're just not going to break away. You're going to drag the group along. See the gap that they had there? That's all chewed up and eaten up already due to that slipstream, and it's Fazli Sham who now leads as they head into turn 4.
And Wawawelo in close pursuit. Behind them, I saw a Fendi Rosley in there, also bike 199 Cheryl Amin, but and still Reza Falevi. What a terrific ride from Reza Falevi. 24th he started, so he's gone past a whole ruck of riders, including Izzat Zaidi, who is still 15th. We've got to mention Izzat because he's second in the standings, and Ahmed Fazli Sham is third, and the points differential is 15 points.
It's still all to play for there for the last couple of positions on the podium for the championship, so those two riders will be trying absolutely as hard as they can, but it's Wawawelo who's leading most of the laps at the moment.
He has 5 of the 6. We are 1.5 laps to go. Wawawelo has got Helmi Asman and Ahmed Fazli Sham, a little shimmy inside onto corner number 12, and this time Helmi Asman, Wawan is forced well wide, and he loses 5 places instantly. And coming into the final lap, well, Wawawelo for once is not in the prime position. Last lap.
Well, we're going to see this, it's going to all start to unfold now. If anybody's got anything in the tank, they're going to hold it back. But keep an eye on Wawawelo. He may well be back in 5th or 6th position at the moment, but he is in the perfect slipstream spot. But Helmi Asman has taken the inside line. That's what you need to do on this last lap. You need to be on the inside. You don't want to let anybody dive up that inside. It's number 199 as well. There's Charles Amin. He wants a taste of victory this time out. Rosalie's there.
And Wawawelo takes the lead as they come around. He was 5th or 6th, and he's taken Reza Falevi with him.
Didn't see who that was, but it was a big moment there.
And it's allowed Wawawelo just to get 3 or 4 bike lengths clear. Helmi Asman is right there. Ahmed Fazli Sham and Akid Aziz also there, but there's a little bit of a lead. Helmi Asman on the Rapido High Rev Honda Racing, lapping 2:02. Ahmed Fazli Sham, fastest lap 2:01.7.
Absolutely, but have a look now. Up the inside goes Charles Amin, takes the lead straight off of the wild card man. And I'll tell you what, this last half a lap is going to be very wild.
Wello on the inside, he's back in front. All you need to do is get the slight one wheel out of position and you are in trouble. Ahmed Fazli Sham takes Reza Falevi. Ahmed Fazli Sham trying to get there. Helmi Asman is being blocked off, but it's Wawawelo who leads ahead of Charles Amin.
Absolutely, as they head down there, we're at the top of the circuit, heading through turn 9 and 10. We know that they're starting to wind themselves up now. As we head through this next left-hand corner, it's all going to kick off here, Des, I can tell you now. I do not know who's going to win this one. Look at it, this could be any one of the top 5 or 6, 7 or 8 riders. They head down into turn 12. It's Charles Amin who's got the lead at the moment, but Wawawelo's there.
Ahmed Fazli Sham it is who will lead going into the corner, and there's a crash outside. Akid Aziz goes, 4 of 5 have gone, and the race has been won by Charles Amin ahead of Gupita Krishna. Ahmed Fazli Sham in 3rd, Ayman Asman in 4th. Bikes and bodies all over the circuit.
Incredible. We're going to have to wait to see who's won that. Everybody's happy at the moment. We're going to have to wait and see.
Well, Effendi Rosley was taken out, Akid Aziz out, Hazik Farouz, I think Fakrazi, Adib Rosley, Travis Hall as well.
Yeah, looks like Charles Amin has won it. And look, are they taking that bike over the finish line? No, the rider's not with it, they're just clearing it away.
My word, that was chaos, that was mayhem. Corner number 12, there are riders all over the track as coming through into a finishing position. Reza Falevi was pushed out wide. He was in the race and he finishes 9th.
Gee, I tell you what, that was an absolute incredible finish to a race. You could see it coming. If you can just see here, all of the bike there, everybody is just juggling for position. Fazli Sham's got a perfect line there. Then Adib Rosley loses at the rear and he goes down. Takes one of the Uma riders with him.
Amral Arif Musa, they're those two.
Yeah.
As the bikes luckily are caught by the gravel.
That was part of the action. There was more kicking off after that, wasn't there?
Well, how many things can we tell you about? Gupita Krishna has got himself into 2nd place. We hardly mentioned Gupita. Ahmed Fazli Sham, who went into that corner leading, comes out 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. It was... you know, an incredible race.
Okay, Cheryl Amin, after all the mayhem on the Yamaha, ahead of Gupita Kresla, Indonesia 1-2. Fazli Sham, third place for him. Is it enough for the championship? Depends on where Izzat Zaidi. Izzat Zaidi got up to 10th. That's a crucial one for Izzat Zaidi. Wawan Wello, having led for so long, finishes 7th. Admiral Arif Musa got himself up, 8th place for him. Reza Falevi, 9th. And Izzat Zaidi in 10th place. Saurabh Heikel can lock who's in the points for Vietnam. He's taken advantage. Chanachai and Shafiq Ayman completing the point scorers. Moon Nakahara, 16th, just outside the points for her. Akarak Tohar, Effendi Rosli and Fakruzi Shakarin all finishing the race. Waiwaji Chilaksana didn't finish, Pirapong didn't finish, Adib, Sutipat, Akid Aziz, they've all crossed the line, I think, but they were all involved in that last corner mayhem.
Yeah, that was an absolute incredible finish, that one. We knew it was coming, though, I can tell you, didn't we? We really did. It was absolutely incredible. But you say every weekend that there's a corner on every track, and here it's turn 12. But winners will be grinners, won't they?
Certainly will be. I hope there's not too many serious injuries there. There were a couple of bodies flying pretty high in the air and concrete hurts.
Yeah, I think most of it's all been cleaned up now, so I think that we're pretty lucky. Look at that the championship trophy. That is a beautiful trophy. Wouldn't you like to have that at home?
That is for Helmi Asman, who finished 6th here today. Ahmed Fazli Sham, now then, he's got himself runner-up position. That's what those celebrations are all about. Ahmed Fazli Sham, 16 points. Has he got enough? You know what, I'm not sure he has.
Well, I think he's happy. They're definitely happy that he's on the podium, which is a fantastic result for him to be able to do that, especially in that last race of the year. Boy, can you imagine the mental stress of these guys out there having to deal with being overtaken up the inside, around the outside, slipstreaming, getting clipped?
Well, Ahmed Fazli Sham has picked up 16 points here. He was trailing by 50. I'm not sure it's enough to get him ahead of Izzat Zaidi.
Well, we'll find out when our official calculators calculate. I'm sure the team seem very excited about something, don't they? So
certainly
we'll find out officially very soon.
Okay, Wheeling, as you can see, is there trying to get the attention of the top 3. We'll be going down to her in just a moment, but I tell you what, the exhilaration is there for all to see. I asked you yesterday, how do you get calm? And after a finish like that, a corner like that, where 6 riders are being taken out of the game, how do you stay calm?
Well, that is a good question. And if I knew the answer to that, I'd probably be out there racing myself. But these guys, they just, wow. It's inexplicable what they do out there. It's an incredible display.
Okay, Wheeling, I believe, is down trackside and is talking to the top 3.
All right, down here with today's podium finisher. Finishing in 3rd today is Ahmad Fazli Sham. Fazli, we just saw what happened in the final turn on the final lap. Share with us what was happening back there.
Okey, pertama sekali saya ingin mengucapkan syukur Alhamdulillah kerana dapat podium hari ini di tempat ketiga dan semaksimum poin yang boleh saya dapat. Pada perlumbaan tadi saya bermula agak baik juga. Tapi setelah pertengahan tadi ada sedikit orang cakap fight yang agak kasar dan orang cakap akhir last lap tadi sangat-sangat kasar fight tadi, tapi mungkin saya berada di laluan yang betul. So mungkin nasib menyebelahi saya untuk pada race kali ini. Alhamdulillah.
Alright, thank you so much, Fazli. Congratulations. Coming in 2nd place today from Yamaha Loop S&D Factory Racing, Gupita Krishna. Congratulations on the last race of the year.
Tentang balapan ini persaingan cukup ketat sekali dan ini last round di 2018. Saya berusaha semaksimal mungkin bisa podium di race 2. Kemarin saya nggak podium karena saya mendapat posisi ke-5 dan sekarang saya mendapatkan yang kedua. Syukur alhamdulillah. Makasih buat Indonesia. Makasih buat doanya semuanya.
Alright, thank you so much, Gupita. And Sharu Amin is today's winner. winning his very first race of the 2018 season. What a sweet way to end the season. Cheryl, share with us, how was the race today?
Race, alhamdulillah race hari ini sangat memuaskan buat saya. Tadi dari lap awal saya nggak terlalu push. Saya mengawetkan motor dan 2 lap terakhir saya mulai gas dan alhamdulillah saya bisa finish ke 1. Itu aja.
Alright, thank you so much, Rami. Congratulations and stay tuned for the podium ceremony.
Thank you very much, Wei Ling. Yeah, they've got their composure back. The celebration's still there for Ahmed Fazli Sham. I don't think he's done enough. My calculations have him just 5 points shy of Izzat Zaidi in the battle for second place overall. We'll get the final confirmation of that. But the overall champion is, that doesn't change. Helmi Azman will be the champion. But what a final race. How do you make sense of a race like that, Steve?
Well, absolutely incredible. But I'll tell you one thing, it was a great weekend for the Yamaha Yamalube S&D factory team with a double win, really, with Wawanwelo and also Cheryl Amin.
Here is Wawanwelo, and for so long, Wawanwelo was the man who was in control of this race, so much in control that he was standing up on his bike, looking back, almost goading to this observer.
You'd almost think that he'd been in the championship for 5 or 6 years and won 5 or 6 championships the way he was going, but it was not the start that he wanted as he headed 5th or 6th into turn 1 as he headed down, but that didn't take him long to get back in front. Helmi Azman was there as well. Dib Rosley was up the front, as was Fakruzi in that group too. It was a massive group, 15, 16, 17 riders all within a couple of seconds.
The contact was, I mean, we're used to contact in Unboom, but this seemed to have more contact than any I recall in my 5 years of commentating.
Well, you know what? It's the last year of what's been a hectic season. We've heard the riders say how competitive it is out there, and when you get moves like that from a rookie coming through, it's easy to understand why all of the riders were hitting biting their fingernails. But there was the number 36, Dib Rosley, running into the back of one of the Uma rider machines there, and then this happened. Look at that, 3 bikes side by side in a place designed for 1 motorcycle.
Indeed, Reza Falevi, the meat in the sandwich there, and he still recovered, Reza Falevi. Now, I always thought Reza was in a good position, just hanging off all the trouble as Pitapong went off after that incident, but Reza Falevi was there or thereabouts. Ahmed Fazli Sham was there or thereabouts, but always the arrogance, I'll call it, of Wawanwelo. He thought this was his race to win, I feel.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Kid Azid was up there in the front as well, doing everything that he could to try and stay in front, but it wasn't to be. It was just absolutely hectic out there. Of course, Reza Falevi, you said, got so close to the front. A good weekend for the wild cars. Wawanwelo ran wide as they head into the last lap, but it didn't take him long to get back into the race at turn 3 on the final lap. At this stage, we thought it was going to be him. One of the riders had a bit of a moment there, but then the group tightened right up. Adib Brinsley is in there as well, and of course the number 199, Cheryl, went down, and then this happened. What a way to finish the race. Bikes were skittled over everywhere.
It was like a bowling alley. It was incredible. 6 riders thrown off their bikes at the last moment. It meant that Cheryl picked up his first ever Underbone victory. He's thrilled to bits, and so indeed are the whole Yamaha side. Oh, it's great.
That was an absolute stunner of a race. And, you know, the guys, it's good that they've got the summer break now to the break to recover, because I think after a race like that, if it was me, you'd want to have a bit of a rest, wouldn't you? But right now it's a time for these guys just to take it all in, and they're doing that there. You can see Ahmed Fazli Sham's team there.
He did come 3rd, so the celebrations there. I've got to give you a medical update as well. Obviously, with so many crashes going on, the chance of injury is pretty high. All of the riders are reported to be medically checked and medically sound. So that's the great news. And well, you don't want injuries, but my word, you do want this competitiveness to continue.
Well, absolutely.
As the riders make their way onto the podium, the 3-2-1 is 3rd is Ahmed Fazli Sham, who's chuffed to bits for his 3rd place overall. Kubita Kreshna, the veteran, the former Underbone 130cc champion and 115cc champion, and a big hug from him for Cheryl, and the Indonesian flag is there.
it was a good weekend for the one XOXT KKR racing team as well.
Okay, national anthems, and then we'll get the prize giving. Well, the fatigue kicking in. It's only 8 laps, but 8 laps of that intensity, Steve Martin. It's a different kind of race to the Superbike, the longer races you were involved in, but it takes an awful lot of energy from you.
It certainly does. A lot of mental energy expended as well in these races for these guys. So many micro adjustments done and changes of line and overtaking manoeuvres and judgments, and you can just see how they're all so happy to finish, but in the end, they just need to sit down and have a bit of a break, don't they?
Chang, the FIM Asia jury president, is handing out the prizes. This is Gupita Krishnawardena. Good to see him on the podium. He's not had the best of luck this year, for once benefiting, but Charles, I mean, first ever victory. As you say, the Yamaha Yamalube team have had a good weekend, and they will take the team award as well. Confirmation, Ahmed Fazli Sham of Malaysia in 3rd place. Good result for him. 3rd place in the overall championship standings. He was chasing second, Gupita Krishna, and Charles Amin with the victory. There's the team photo, which will take pride of place, I'm sure, on Charles Amin's... do they have mantelpieces these days? You know what I mean. In England, we have mantelpieces.
I'm sure they'll find somewhere to put those wonderful trophies, won't they? That'll look good.
Here's the overall standings. Helmi Asma, 194 points, 64 points clear of Izzat Zaidi, who did just enough. 10th place finish for him ahead of Ahmed Fazli Sham, who going into the final corner was leading, and Izzat was out to the points. It all changed on the final corner. Gupita Krishna, 4th overall, 105 points for him. Further down, Wawanwelo, well, he only raced in 2 rounds. He picked up 56 points. Travis Hall, the best of the Australian, with 50 points for him. Fakruzi picked up points today onto 48. McKinley Palpaz for Philippines, 41 points for him. And Pitapong, a frustrating weekend. Okay, right, it's a long season. It's 12 races, 6 rounds. You have to work really, really hard to be a champion. And the champion for 2018 in the underbone 150cc is Helmi Asman. And you can't take it away. The champs are grinners. What's your phrase?
Winners are grinners.
Let's head up to the podium, where I believe Helmi Asman is about to be awarded his champion. Helmi Asman, the 2018 champion with 7 podium finishes in all, 5 runner-up, 2 wins. That's a pretty good consistency. Only 1 DNF in the whole season. That's the kind of consistency that wins you championships.
It certainly was. The team's called the SCK Rapido High Rev Honda Racing Team, and high revs they certainly had this year.
Again, Kendi Chang, the jury president, is the man who's handing over the trophy. Big smile, beautiful blue backdrop, and a lovely gleaming trophy. Big mantelpiece he'll need. Honda Racing, SCK Racing, Underbone 150cc champion. And he joins the likes of Akid Aziz, Gupita Krishna, Wayo Ajitrilaksana, Hadi Wijaya as champions. Rafid Topan Susito, an Underbone 115cc champion. Effendi Rosley, going back to 2009. Owi Nahada. Plenty of great names have gone on for that, and that's a terrific victory for Helmi Asman. Let's see if we can talk to the champion of the Underbone 150s.
I'm here with this year's 2018 Underbone 150cc champion, Muhammad Helmi Asman. Helmi, this is your first year joining Honda, first year with Team SCK Rapido High Rev Honda Racing, and your first title of your career. Can you wrap up this year for us?
Okay, yes. Of course, I'm so happy with this title, Underbone champion. And firstly, I want to say thanks to my team and our sponsor, and also my friend, family to support me. And yes, this year I'm very happy because I'm first time with new team and new bike I ride. So I'm happy.
So can you share with us a little what are some of your plans for 2019? Can you share?
2019, maybe I go to Supersport 300cc. So I hope I can fight with the top.
All right, congratulations so much, Helmi, and we look forward to seeing more of Helmi in action in 2019. Back to Des in the studio.
Thank you, Huiling. Yes, good words from Helmi Asman. A successful Underbone 150cc season. He hopes that he can put himself up to the Supersport 600. Our attention moves to the Asia Production 250cc after the break. You're watching the Asia Road Racing Championships, brought to you in association with Idemitsu.
High-speed satisfaction. Never mind the obstacles. When you're slow, lambat tinggal.
The Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championship comes to you from the Chang International Circuit. They call it the destination of speed. We're in Buriram in northeastern Thailand. It has become a destination for motorsports generally and a bit of a home for the Asia Road Racing Championships. We're coming to the end of the 2018 season. We've got 2 more races to go, but we'd just like to look forward to 2019. Already we know what the calendar is, and already we know there's some pretty big news to tell you about in terms of the introduction of superbikes. Ron Hogg is the director of TWMR, the promoters of the Asia Road Racing Championships. We caught up with him earlier on this week to find out more.
2019 is set to be an exciting season for the FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. Along with the highly anticipated entry of the ASB 1000 class, the race calendar has been expanded into a 7-round championship. We spoke to TWMR director Ron Hogg about what's in store for 2019.
It's been the plan for Asia Road Racing Championship to expand the championship in terms of number of rounds. We have notified the teams and the people involved in the championship since 2016. That was our target. So we're happy to announce that in 2019 we will go 7 rounds, and in addition to that, we will also go to a new venue, and so we're quite happy about it. The main round that will be having a double header would be the Asian Road Racing Championship will be running together with the Australian Superbike Championship. It will be a weekend of fun in terms of getting all the best motorcyclists around, and really interesting for the fans to be out at the racetrack because they get to see quality races the whole day long. Well, the plan for the Asian Championship always is about expanding the geographic width of the championship and going to new countries. That has always been the plan, and by going to Korea, the plan would then be to get the country more interested in motorcycle racing, as well as we know there are plenty of riders who are keen to take part in the championship. We have a wild card this weekend in Buriram from a rider in Korea, and we hope that we going to Korea will see the championship have more Korean riders and literally bring more Korean interest to the championship.
Ron Hogg there talking about the expansion to 7 rounds, and Steve Martin, the introduction of your favourite toys, the Superbikes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a testament that the series is heading in absolutely the right direction next year with Korea coming on board as well. I mean, we're all looking forward to going there. That's going to be fantastic. But of course, the 1000cc Superbikes, everybody loves the way that they react on track, and it's just going to add a new dimension to the championship, and I'm just so much looking forward to it.
There's been a number of press conferences in Buriram surrounding the 2019 calendar, and one of the biggest announcements made yesterday was the starting of a brand new team with the Superbikes in mind, the Honda Dream Racing Team. This is their report.
Yesterday, Honda Asia held a press conference right here at the circuit in which they officially announced their entry in next year's ASB 1000 class. The team representing them in the new Premier class is Honda Asia Dream Racing, a team that was established early this year in preparation for the 1000cc class. Honda Asia Dream Racing will be led by team manager Makoto Tamada, and the chosen rider is 2-time Supersport 600cc champion Muhammad Zakwan Zaidi.
Okay, that's looking ahead to 2019. We've got 2 more races in the 2018 calendar to look forward to. We've got the Supersport 600cc, which will bring a thrilling finale later on this afternoon. That's 3 p.m. local time. Do not miss it. We've got 4 genuine contenders for the championship. The Asia Production 250cc has already been decided, but there's still plenty to race for today. Let's have a look at what happened yesterday, where Rafid Topan Susito from Indonesia came from way down down to win the title, a title that's already been won by Razor Danica. But this race itself, Steve Martin, had plenty of incidents, as they all have right the way throughout this weekend.
No, it certainly did. It was action-packed, and Critchiport, as you can see, moved himself right into third position, unfortunately, from pole. But it wasn't long before he hit himself, got himself back in the front. Andy Fadley's up there too on the Kawasaki. He thought things were running pretty sweet for him, and he made his way into the lead in the early part of the race. And at that point, we thought that Andy Fadley, there he is on the number 108 Kawasaki, the only Kawasaki in the field at the moment, was in for a chance for victory. As we'd see, that would change. Critchiport back there, and also Super Mario doing the best that he could out on track at the moment. Remember that Super Mario hasn't had a good run up to this point. 3 DNFs up to this point.
Indeed. Critchiport is important. You look out for him in a moment, because his teammate would have rather a lot to say in the ending of this race. Anupam Samun coming forward. The Thai who loves this track. 44, Muklada Sarupech. This is a young lady who likes to mix it with the big boys, and boy did she mix it yesterday.
Well, Muklada won a race here earlier on in the year at the first round, in fact, and I think that was her first race win in the 250 class, and the first for a female. Absolutely great to see, and she took no quarter. She was going to win this race or else, and she really did take the inside line on a lot of occasions and worked her way towards the front there. You can see Andy Fadley making his way backwards as the group really was never separated by more than half a second.
There is Andy Mohammed Fadley. As you say, he was disappointed to have engine problems. Hopefully he's sorted out for today, because he was competitive. Then Critchiport got himself involved, and we're just building you up to a remarkable finish. We're on to the last lap here. Bike number 44, Muklada Sarupech. She's the one leading coming into the final corner. And then what happens after that, Steve Martin, is mayhem.
Yeah, absolutely. She was right in behind Owen Sanjaya at this point. But watch this. She dives up the inside here, gets a clear lead. But then she moves in the final corner all the way out to the left-hand side of the track, not where you want to be. Moves up the inside of Critchiport, takes him out, bang, into 2 riders. And unfortunately, 3 riders had go down there. She, at this point, got on the podium, but it was definitely under watch, and unfortunately for her, she was suspended. She won't be racing today.
Indeed, that's a fine way to put it. I know you were looking at it yesterday, because when we left the track last night, there was no results, but you were saying there's no way that Muklada cannot get away without a sanction for that. Muklada Sarupech has been penalised. She will not run today. She's been suspended from today. Her 3rd place was taken off her. I wonder if we can actually have a closer look at the mayhem that really happened. If you can talk us through what she did wrong coming into this final corner.
Firstly, she's in the wrong position for the final lap. She needed to be on the inside of that group. She was leading. Then she realised that too late, went up the inside, made contact with 2 of the riders. One of them, her teammate, Super Mario, was also taken out, and that you can just see here, look, she's gone up the inside too late. She needed to be on the inside at the start. She's held the throttle open, never going to make the corner at that speed unless you use Critchiport as a berm, which is what she did, which then knocked her into another rider on the right-hand side there, took them out, and suspension well deserved, I think.
Suspension is deserved. This is the track that she's got. That corner, bottom left, is the one that causes all the problems. In the Underbone 150s, we've just seen an incredible finale. Yesterday, that was Muklada on corner number 12. To a commentator and an observer like me, that is gold.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's just one of the parts of this racetrack that make Buriram the track that we love to watch racing at. I mean, it's just so exciting.
Okay, let's go down onto the grid, where I think Wheeling is talking to a number of the riders, and 1 or 2 of those who we don't normally focus on in the AP250s. I think we're going to be talking firstly to India's Setu Rajiv.
All right, thank you, Des. I'm here down with Setu Rajiv, who's starting from 19 on the grid today. So Setu, of course, we've wrapped up another year in the Asia Production 250cc. Share us, how has the progress been for your team and yourself in your 2nd year?
So it has been very good, and yesterday I finished in top 15. So the improvement has been very good, and I would like to thank Honda India for this great support and for this great exposure for international. So I hope the sport is also picking up in India. So hopefully many riders come soon, and Honda is also having a good initiative coming up. So this is a very good lesson for me which I learned this year. So hopefully it helps me a lot. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Rajiv. Good luck for the last race of the season. And we're going to go right behind. We have there who's from one of the smaller Asian country, from Honda Vietnam. We have Cao Vietnam. So Nam, this year is your first year in the 250cc class, and you've been able to pick up valuable points and finish in the top 15. How would you share your experience this year?
Now I so happy because this is the first time I ride 250, and now I have a 10 point. Very good, and I want next year again have many boys. Every race I have boy, and next year.
All right, good luck, Nam, for the final race of the season. Thank you so much. And I think the riders are going to start preparing to start the race, so I will send it back to Des and Steve in the studio.
Thanks very much, Hui Ling. Yes, it's very much an international field out there. Cho Kei-lung from Chinese Taipei, also part of that field. Kim Woo-jung, who we spoke to if we were watching yesterday's telecast from South Korea. Anish Shetty, also from India. I mean, we've got the regular, the Thais, Malaysia, Japan, and Indonesia, of course. They dominate this Asia Road Racing Championships, but it is important to take it international.
It certainly is, and the fact that we've got 13 different nationalities competing here this weekend just goes to show what a success it is, this championship, to bring all of those different countries together. We just saw Andy Fadley there. Good to see him back on the grid, his bike running again.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's no problems here. Here's Awan Sanjaya, the Indonesian. Astra Honda Racing, who as a team have had a wonderful season. Awan Sanjaya has been in good form. Next to him, Mario Soyo Aji. Now, I know you want him to do well.
I do. He's had 4 DNFs in a row, and he doesn't deserve it. The one that he had yesterday afternoon when he was taken out by McLaren, definitely not his fault. He was in a position for a podium at that point, so fingers crossed for him. Piawat Patumos, number 88. I'll tell you what, he had a great race yesterday. Finished in the 5th position, which was a really good result for him for the AP Honda Racing Thailand team.
That's on the 2nd row of the grid. On the 3rd row of the grid, I'm not sure if our guys are going to have time to go there, but Rafid Topan Susito, who came from 9th place to take the victory, kept himself out of all the danger, kept away from McLaren, which was sensible. McLaren, of course, not on the grid, and that means that Rafid comes up from 10th, where he was yesterday, into 9th. Reza Danica runs from the defending champion 11th to 10th.
And that's critical for him because that moves him up a row. 10th is a row back to 9th, so he's gone up a row. That's a much better position for Rafid Topan this time out.
Okay, race number 2 of the weekend. It's race number 12 of the season in the Asia Production 250cc Championships. The title has already been won by Reza Danica RN for Astra Honda Racing. He's had a stellar season with 6 victories plus 2 other podiums. A 4th place yesterday. There's only been 1 0-pointer, but he'd like to finish, I'm sure, as all champions would do, with a victory.
He would, but I did speak with the Astra Honda racing team manager earlier on today, and poor old Reza Danica has got a sore wrist, so I'm not sure we'll see that victory today.
Here are the starting positions. Krichaporn on pole alongside Anupam Sarmoon, like him. Andy Mohammed Fadli, unlucky yesterday. Awan Sanjaya, Mario Soreo, look out for him, and Piawat on the 2nd row. Pirapong Boonlet, Galang Hendra, who did well yesterday, and Rafid Topan, who won the race yesterday, on the 3rd row. Moving down, the Reza Danica, the champion, lapping 154.240. You can see these are all fairly similar times. There's no outstanding rider. Kanatat and Ray Ratukore on the 4th row. Muzakir, Hafiz Nur Azman, the Malaysians, alongside Richard Taroa on the 5th row. Onto row number 6, Andy Setiawan, Ahmed Afif Amran and Izam Ikmal, completing the first 18 riders. Then we talked to Setu Rajiv, confident young fella, hope he can get himself some more points. Top 15 riders pick up points. Idil Fitri alongside him, and Suzuki Takahashi on row 7. Cao Vietnam we spoke to, Chao Kei-lung from Chinese Taipei, and Fai Zekri, and on the row 9, Anish Shetty from India, apologies, and Kim Woo-jung on his first weekend racing, the Korean national champion.
Yeah, it was good that we spoke with Cal Vietnam yesterday. In fact, he had a absolutely fantastic ride, moved up into 12th position, so that's probably one of his best results of the season. We heard him, and the fact that it's his first season on one of these 250s as well, but he's a big improver and gaining in confidence throughout every race that he does.
We'll try and keep just a little weather eye on Cal Vietnam. We're not expecting to be in the top 10. We will keep a real eye on this last corner, corner number 12, because in just about every race this weekend, it has been influential, shall we say, in the end results and the end points.
Influential is the absolute correct word. There's been a lot of hearts broken in that corner, turn 12, but unfortunately, that's racing, and you've got to place yourself in the right position to get through it in one piece.
Quickly gaining notoriety. Were there any corners that you feared or loved in your time as a rider?
Every corner that you're in the lead of is a good corner.
Steve Martin, former world endurance champion and 18 years on the Superbike circuit, alongside us in the commentary box for the AP250cc race number 2. It's never a good sign when somebody gets off the bike as they're just getting into formation. Now he's back on. That was, I think, Suzuki Takahashi right at the back there, okay. Anupab Samoon expecting a quick time from Anupab. And we are just about set. Once the flags disappear, the red lights will go on and we'll be underway. A jump start there from Arvind Sanjaya on the second row, and he's in trouble, but out quick enough was Anupab. Krichipon overtaken by Anupab, and the Kawasaki of Andy Mohamed Fadli, he's gone on the inside as well. Good start by Anupab and Andy Mohamed Fadli. Yeah,
great by Andy Mohamed Fadli. Just moves himself into that second position. I saw his bike in a million pieces an hour before this race, so let's hope that it can hold together today. Of course, that Kawasaki, we mentioned it yesterday, brand new into the championship this year, and you've got to say it's a pretty competitive package, especially with him on board.
It's a 10-lap race, so a long way to go. Andy Mohamed Fadli, the engine problems kicked in on lap 8 last time. In fact, lap 9, I think it was. But he's got a lead here.
Rafa Topin's already moved himself up into 4th position now, so the race winner from last time out's definitely benefited from moving up that row with Muklada out of this race.
Hiawat also in there, bike number 88, the blue livery, but at the front end, we've got a new leader in there. Is that... Well, Andy Mohamed Fadli 3rd, Anupab is in 2nd. Arvind Sanjaya, I think it is, who's gone through into 1st. And I've loved the work of Arvind Sanjaya in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, Super Mario's in there with a good chance too at the moment, sitting in 4th position. Number 35, the pole man, Krichipon, in 5th.
Those 5 just beginning to break away as we come into the latter stages of lap number 1 of this 10-lap race, Asia Production 250cc.
Yeah, that is quite a little gap that they've got there. There's about a 3 or 4 bike length gap that they've gained on the group in the second group there, which they've maintained so far. If they can't pull that back, this group is big enough to pull away on its own. So the guys in that second group are really going to have to work hard to close down that 3 or 4 bike gap.
Full width of the track used as Anupab goes forward ahead of Arvind, Andy Mohamed Fadli, Suryo and Krichipon. They are 0.4 of a second of Reza Danica, who's got himself into a good position, and Rafid Topan, who you mentioned. Now then, in the overall championship standings, Reza Danica's won the title, but Anupab has 142 points, Rafid Topan 138, Arvind Sanjaya 137. Mario Surya, who had a great start to the season, he's off the pace at 122. But those 5 are the ones we're really interested in, because they do have a mathematical chance of making it into second in the overall time.
Well, absolutely, and that is, you know, we know that the win is off the table, but winning this race, as we have another relook at the start there.
Arvind Sanjaya, jump start, and a couple of arms up there as well.
Yeah, what was that arm for there? Let's see if we can see who that was.
Just top left of your screen.
Yep, couldn't really catch that. But anyway, Andy Fadli once again dived up the inside, got a great start there. The 2 Yamahas, Anupab Samoon was up there too. Rafa Topin got a great start too.
Now then, it's the Kawasaki of Andy Mohamed Fadli that's leading the way. He's closely followed by Mario Suryo, bike 16, and Arvind Sanjaya.
Looks like the three Astra Hondas are in that group. Of course, that they locked the grid out at Phillip Island.
They've had a fantastic season.
There's just such a professional crew down there. They really know what they're doing, especially in this 250 class. They've got some great talent in there. They've already taken the championship, and you know what? If you want to go forward, that's not a bad team to be connected to.
Yeah, I reckon Andy Mohamed Fadli is feeling a little bit lonely out there, surrounded by those Astra Honda. In fact, he's in 4th place as they go around. It's Astra Honda 1, 2, 3 as they go over the line. The order is Reza Danica, Mario Sorrillo, Arwin Sanjaya, Andy Mohamed Fadli and Anupab Sarmoon. Right, Reza Danica, the champion. You suggested he'd like to go out with a strong finish.
Well, I did, but I also spoke to the team manager earlier on today, and he said that Reza Danica's got a sore wrist. He had a crash on Friday and has hurt his wrist, but I think he might have just been pulling my leg, because Reza Danica is in perfect positioning at the moment, much better than yesterday. Perhaps the wrist has settled down. Andy Fadli, what a great move up the inside into turn 3.
Now, those front 5 look like they might be getting away, but they've been joined by the next group of 4, which includes Kritchipong, Pitapong, Piawat and Kanatat. A lot of Thai names in there.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of a gap back now to perhaps Galang Hendra Pratama, who was very strong yesterday, wasn't he? Oh, we've got a fall. Is that? It's not Rafid Topan, is it?
It's got the livery of Rafid Topan.
We'll have to wait and see who that is.
We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. It's not Rafid Topan.
Okay, that's good news for him. We'll find out. We'll bring that to you as soon as we can.
Arwin Sanjaya, Mario Sorrillo and Reza Danica are all in this front little group. The lead at the moment from the guy you've christened Super Mario. You're the only one who's done that, you know.
Well, when I started, he was being very super.
He had a terrific start to the season, did Mario. A second place finish on race number, in fact 3 of his first 4 races second place, 4 of his first 6, 4 of his first 7 second places, then 4 DNFs in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help when your teammates Reza Danica, who wins every race, which he did a lot of winning earlier on in the year, did this year's champion.
Arwin Sanjaya is just behind Mario, lapping pretty quickly here. Mario Sorrillo 1:53.292 his last lap. That is the fastest lap of the race so far. Andy Mohamed Fadli is not being shaken, neither is Anupab Sarmoon.
Yeah, Anupab Sarmoon's just in the back of that group there. You mentioned before Andy Fadli must have been feeling pretty lonely amongst all of those Hondas, but I'll tell you what, at least he's got a Yamaha to keep him company.
Certainly has. It's coming down that long straight under the second grandstand.
Kritchipong, just the pole man, just on the back of that group. He's got to be careful though, because he really is in danger of dropping off if he's not there. There's Rafid Topan with the lead of that back group there. The race winner from yesterday. He's got a lot of work to do.
He has. He's 0.8 of a second down after that at the end of the previous lap, as Mario is edged out by the Kawasaki of Andy Mohamed Fadli. Well, let's just hope that his machinery can keep going, Andy Mohamed Fadli, because he's ridden really smoothly this weekend. 3rd in pole position, racing well yesterday when engine problems, racing well today.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, he does deserve to finish it. It wasn't his fault yesterday, as you say, but he's got a lot of work to do. That just seems like the button's getting wound up now. Things are getting more frenetic and frantic out there on track, which is what we like to see.
There's still a long way to go. They're only 2.5 laps in as they come around lap 9, right-hander 10.
Yeah, this is the best race I've seen Super Mario have on that number 16 Astra Honda for a long time. Hopefully his confidence is up after the 4 DNFs in a row, but he's riding beautifully at the moment. He needs this win to build that confidence back up.
It will be Mario Sorrillo who leads for Astra Honda, ahead of Arwin Sanjaya, Andy Mohamed Fadli, Reza Danica and Anupab Sarmoon. They are joined by Kritchipong, Pitapong. So those front 7 have pulled away. Rafid Topan is a good 2.5 seconds off that pace.
Yes, good to see Pirapong in that group as well. He's in with a good chance to have a good result there. But once again, through turn 1, that front group just seems to lose Kritchipong, but he catches it back up under brakes. Right in the braking area, Kritchipong is good. Perhaps he's maybe lacking a little bit of top speed, or he missed a gear or something coming in the straight there. He's made that ground right back up.
Further down the field, outside of our pictures, Vietnam in 13th place at the moment. He's having a battle with Indonesia's Izam Iqbal. Setu Rajiv from India, 16th, just out of the points. But he's got a 7-second gap over the Chinese Taipei's Cho K-Long. So Setu Rajiv hoping to pick up points for Team Idemitsu.
Andy Fadley up the inside, nice move. He nearly ran into the back of the Arvind Sanjaya, I think that is. So it was definitely close.
Right, there's Reza Danica, looks on the inside. Reza Danica, the Astra Honda, let's just differentiate by the helmets, the white helmet of Reza Danica. As he is in second place, Andy Mohammed Fadli leading, really riding really smoothly, not looking under any pressure whatsoever, although he's under an immense amount of pressure.
There's a lot of battles going on in this race at the moment. There's teammates versus teammates out there. There's a couple of Yamahas involved in that now as well. And then there's the lone Kawasaki man. Everyone vying for that position. A little bit wide there.
Anupam went wide. He was in the lead going into the corner. He's third place. Where's Anupam? He's way down, so that means Pirapong.
That was Pirapong,
has joined in the group.
Yeah, Anupam's back down now in set position and lost a couple of places there. So just on the back of this group, we've got a group of, what is it, a group of 7 at the moment out there?
Yeah, 0.65 separating 1 from 7. Then there's a 2-second gap to Piawat, Kanatat and Rafid Topan. Now then, that becomes interesting because Anupam and Rafid Topan and Arvind Sanjaya are in a real battle for position number 2 in the championships. Remember, 20 points for second place, 25 for first, 20, 16, 13, 11, 10 for the top 6 positions.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like that group that we're looking at now have broken away just enough. This will be the podium. So pretty much 3 of these guys are going to be on the podium and the rest are going to be unhappy. Oh, that's a bit wide for Pirapong.
Do you worry when you go wide? Is it just a misjudgment, lack of concentration?
You need to worry because that can be deemed as using more of the track. You're not allowed, one of the rules at this circuit is because it's so wide, you have to stay, you can go onto the ripple strip, the blue and the white is okay, but if you go onto the green, you can be looked at by the stewards. So it's very, very important that you don't run off the track.
We had that yesterday in the Supersport 600, of course, 3 riders to be pushed down 5 places, and that's had an influence on what might happen in the Supersport 600 later on. At the moment, it's like a train just following through. Reza Danica currently in second place, chasing behind Arvind Sanjaya by 198. There is Reza, just coming out into the daylight. I'm the champion. I would like to take this as we come in with 4 laps to go after this, nice and clean through turn 12.
Yeah, beautiful display of riding by all of those guys. Looks like Rafid Topan is just starting to close that gap up as well. A little bit good to see, and that is because the leaders now have dropped back. Arvind Sanjaya's last lap was a 54.3 versus a 53.6 by Rafid Topan.
Right, great point you made, Rafid Topan. They made a 0.7 of a second there, but there is the gap, beautifully caught by that camera at the end of the straight. Rafid Topan in the yellow and blue is chasing. Looks like he lost a little bit of ground there. Straight line speed for this front 7. Pretty good.
The pole man's hanging in there though at the back of the group. There he is. You can see him the second in that group at the moment. Those guys really should work together, and that's what they're trying to say. He's saying, stay behind me, let's work together, let's use the slipstream. If we don't work together in the slipstream, we're not going to catch the guys in the front. That's what they're trying to say to each other right there. And if they don't do that, look, that's what he's saying. He's saying, get behind me and we'll slipstream each other and catch up. So that's the plan that they've got. That's Rafid Topan's plan. He can see he cannot catch that gap up unless he gets the help of the riders behind him.
Rafid Topan's the one who needs the help because he's the one at 138 points. He's got to finish 4 points clear of Anupam Sarmoon, and Anupam is 1 place ahead of him at the moment, but 1.5 seconds ahead of him.
That is quite a big gap that he's got to catch up to. So if these guys don't start working together, he will be in a little bit of trouble. Of course, he's got Galang Hendra, who was so good yesterday behind him, and the wild card probably getting a little bit excited out there.
Leading the way around is Mario Sorio. This time he's dragging the Kawasaki of Andy Mohamed Fadli alongside with him. Riders lapping just around 1:53.604 is the best lap time.
It's going to be interesting to see how the laps are as they go over now, because this is a good lap by Mario. He puts in a 52.8. That is the fastest lap of the race so far, and he has stretched that group out a little bit, hasn't he?
Andy Mohamed Fadli in third place. Anupam Sarmoon is there. Pitapong Boonlet had got himself into second. Now then, this is Rapid Tophan. What's the gap? It's increased on that last lap. So despite his exhortations to get the next lot to work together, it's not worked out that way.
No, Super Mario has certainly stretched that group. He's even stretched the lead group now. It looks like some of those guys can't run in the 52s if that is the pace. That is a very, very quick pace too. 52.3 was pole position from Critchipore. So if you could race in the 52s, in fact, that would have been fast enough to put you on the front row of the grid. So that's how fast they're going out there at the moment.
That is quick. Andy Mohamed Fadli is still hanging in there, nice and tight on the inside as they come into turn number 4. Another left-hander. This is a sharp left, turn 5 and 6 as they go round the Chang International Circuit. It's a lot more technical, this area, but there is space to get out of trouble if you're boxed in.
Yeah, there's space to get you out of trouble, but there's also plenty of space to get you in trouble. That's what we love about this, the width. 12 metres wide at its widest point. It gives you a lot of asphalt to play with when you're out there, and you've got to think of where you're going to overtake 1 or 2 turns before, just to get so you can get the run on the guy in front of you. You need to get a different line and get the run. You can dive up the inside. A classic place for that is turn 8. Right here, we've seen it happen a few times in throughout the race.
Owen Sanjay in the yellow helmet leading the way. Andy Mohamed Fadli still in there. And Critchipore has joined that group. Now, Critchipore has done really well to get in that group of 6.
Now, I guess if you're Critchipore, you pole man, you want to win a race this weekend, don't you? So he's got to do everything he can now. He'll be very disappointed if he can't get up and win a race here this weekend. So I'm sure we're going to see some fireworks from him in the next couple of laps.
For those who saw yesterday's race, there is no Maglada Sarapwet because she played pinball on turn number 12 on the last lap yesterday. She's suspended from this race. Fantastic to watch, but a deserved suspension. It means there's a little less danger for these guys.
You say pinball, I say 10-pin bowling, Des. It was a display I've never seen before, but yes, it could be slightly safer for these guys, but you know what? It takes more than one to tango, and when you add this group in together as the laps come down, remembering this is the last race of the year for these guys, there's a lot to play for. You want to be the last winner. It's going to go down to the absolute wire.
The front 4, it is Arvind Sanjaya just leading ahead of Mario Suryo. Andy Mohamed Fadli hanging on in there. Anupam Sarmoon, he's kept himself out of danger and now is just happily holding on to the back of these 4. We've got 1.5 laps to go, and any one of those front 4, any one of those front 7 really has a chance of taking this.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the group out there, Andy Fadli seems to be very strong on the brakes, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's just sitting there at the moment in that 2nd or 3rd position, just trying to maintain it until that last lap. Watch for a dive up the inside by him. I'm sure that he's going to be one of the guys to watch.
Hidemetsu Asia Road Racing Championships coming to you from Buriram, settling into a wonderful finale. We've got the Supersport 600 to come into the final lap here. Andy Mohamed Fadli on the Kawasaki in 3rd place, but it's the Astra Honda of Arvind Sanjay and Mario Suryo who are 1-2, Anupam 4, Critchipore 5, Reza Danica, the champion, is in 6th place. Rapid Tophan is a long way down in 8th. His chance of coming 2nd disappearing by the meter.
Great run onto the back straight there by the Kawasaki man on the number 108 machine. It was fantastic. He managed to pick up a spot, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to profit from it. So head down, there's Anupam Sarmoon there. Now, Anupam Sarmoon, he hasn't won a race. He won the first race of the year, and I'm sure he wants to try and win the last one. The Kawasaki hasn't won at all yet, so they have got it all to play for. Andy Fadli, Fujiwara, the team manager, with his fingers crossed that this could be the first victory for the new bike.
Now then, straight line speed important. It gets tense in the pit lanes as well. Everybody watching the screens. It's Mario Suryo Aji, the Indonesian, who leads just upping the pace ahead of his compatriots, Arwin Sanjaya. Inside goes Andy Mohammed Fadli. Right, riders 250, 55 and 90 under investigation. That doesn't affect the front four.
As we head into this final lap now, this is on Super Mario. When he was in the lead before, he was super fast. But Andy Fadley on the brakes, up the inside now. That was a great move by him, but he runs wide, which allows Super Mario to get through again. And he blocks the Kawasaki man as they head through on the final lap. It's a good display. Super Mario right where he needs to be, but he needs to be on the inside coming out of this corner. He blocks the line. It's great. Head to nose to tail. Anupap Samoon's on the inside. You can't do that. Oh. He's gone up. What a great move.
Into corner number 12. It's the destiny once again. Anupab, Andy Mohammed Fadli, and just making it through, just holding it off for the victory will be Arwin Sanjaya ahead of the Kawasaki of Fadli. Klitschapon third, Anupab fourth. My word, these boys are doing everything to get into position for that last corner, Steve.
Just when you think it can't get any more hectic, it gets more hectic. What an incredible last corner once again. And so close. Andy Mohammed Fadli gave it everything. Nearly went flying over the handlebars. Managed to hold it together. Got second. Arwin Sanjaya. What a race he had. He held his final drive, but on that last lap, he broke, heading up the inside into that final corner. And what about Anupap Samoon? He tried to do his passing manoeuvre on the grass.
The good news for Arwin Sanjaya, that 25 points will take him up to second place overall. He gets ahead of Anupap Samoon, and it's all down to the last lap of the last corner of the last race of a 12-race season.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, the Astra Honda Racing team have got to be pretty happy with that. They've won 2 in the championship.
Pretty good indeed. Reza Danica, 7th out of danger, but only 0.6 of a second behind. You got 7 riders split by just 0.603 of a second. Pitapong Boonlert in 6th. Mario Sorio Aji. Well, I know you'll feel for him. I know you wanted him to do well, but 5th for him.
It's in the end 0.2 off of the win. And finish the race. It's the first race he's finished in 4 races, so it's not the way that he wanted to finish the year, but he can take away the fact that he's competitive.
Here is the final result. Arwin Sanjaya, Andy Mohammed Fadli, 0.064 behind. Klitschapon did well to get up into 3rd because he's a long way back with 2.5 laps to go. Anupap Samoon from Thailand making it a tied 3-4. Mario Sorio 5th. Pitapong, Reza Danica, the champion, out of danger in 7th. Rafi Topan a long way behind, 5 seconds adrift. Galang Hendra from Indonesia, the youngster, in 9th, and Kanatat Jaiman for Thailand making it 3 ties in the top 10. Piawat makes it 4 ties in the top 11 on the Honda. And then the also-rans, the point scorers, Ray Ratukore, Izam Iqbal, Khao Vietnam for Vietnam, Setu Rajiv for India, both in the points. Chow Kei Lung for Chinese Taipei in 19th, and Shetty finishing in 20th, completing it. 22nd for Kim Woo Jung. It's been an education for him. Non-finishers were Suzuki Takahashi, Angie Setiawan, Ahmed Afif Amran and Richard Taroa. Oh, this is great. This last lap, Steve. Talk to me about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just the perfect circuit to set up for that final lap, isn't it? There's so many overtaking opportunities here, and these guys are so hungry, especially into that turn 12. The way that it's set up, I mean, it's more than a 90-degree corner. It's much sharper. It's probably a 95-degree corner, and it means that it begs you to go in harder. And you have to. You feel you can go in hard, but then you lean over. There's plenty of opportunities there, plenty of grip too. This circuit is still fairly new. Look at that, Kawasaki. How happy are they?
Very happy. I think is the answer. Fujihara doesn't need a lot to be happy, but I think everyone's got reason to be happy because there's been a lot of big performances out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
this is Sanjaya who's got the win.
Yeah, I mean, that was an important win for him because that moved him up to 2nd in the championship. I mean, incredible stuff for the team. But boy, you've got to think that the Kawasaki team, the Kawasaki have done a fantastic job with that new bike coming here this year and getting on the podium a couple of times. A great result by all of the podium getters out there.
Okay. We're going to go down where wheeling is amidst the scrum of riders, but there's a lot of backslapping. It tends to happen like this on the last round of the season. It's a long journey. They started in Buriram, but they're now finishing in Buriram. A season is over. They can now let their hair down, temporarily at least. But before they do, let's get some reaction from that race, which once again was decided on the last corner of the last lap. Wheeling.
Right down here, right in front of the podium with today's race 2 winner, Awin Sanjaya. Awin, not an easy race. Everyone knows the 250 has always been one of the toughest races. Tell us, how did you overcome it to win today?
Ya, alhamdulillah saya bisa podium 1. Dan pertama-tama saya mengucapkan kepada Astra Honda Racing Team, mekanik dan semua sponsor, keluarga, teman telah memberikan saya dukungan dan terima kasih semua atas doanya. Ya, di race 2 hari ini pertarungannya yang sangat ketat dan saya harus mengatur ritme untuk berhasil di posisi 1 dan alhamdulillah hasilnya bisa podium 1. Terima kasih buat semua.
Alright, congratulations, Awin. And coming in second place today is Andi Muhammad Fadli. Andy, congratulations picking up another podium here in the 250cc class for the Kawasaki. Share with us how challenging was the final lap.
Yeah, in the final lap, I already tried maximum, but I just finished in second place. But no problem, I'm very happy. I want to say thanks to the team for the hard working and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and my family also. But now I'm very happy because yesterday hard luck, I cannot finish in the 3 laps last lap, but now I'm very finished. I can stay on the podium.
Alright, gonna let you turn behind and celebrate with the rest of your team. As we move to talk to the 3rd place finisher from AP Honda Racing Thailand. Krichapan, congratulations, starting from pole position at your home race. That was a new achievement for you, and today you managed to achieve another something new, finishing on the podium for the first time in the 250cc class. Share with us, how was it coming back from yesterday's race?
ก็จากเมื่อวานก็มีผิดพลาดบ้างนะครับก็ทำให้ไม่ได้วันแข่งขันก่อนสำหรับวันนี้ตลอดฤดูกาลที่ผ่านมานะครับทั้งปีก็เป็นความกดดันนะครับความพยายามความมุ่งมั่นทั้งทีมเองที่พัฒนารถพัฒนาต่างๆพัฒนานักแข่งนะครับก็ในวันนี้ก็ผมก็ทำสำเร็จนะครับที่สามารถขึ้นโพเดียมได้นะครับก็ดีใจครับที่สามารถขึ้นโพเดียมก็ได้ครับเพราะเป็นครั้งแรกแล้วก็เป็นบ้านเราด้วยนะครับก็ขอบคุณนะครับที่ส่งแรงเชียร์แรงใจให้คนไทยนะครับทุกๆคนนะครับวันนี้ก็ผมทำสำเร็จแล้วก็ขอบคุณทีมนะครับที่คอยซัพพอร์ตผมอยู่ตลอดนะครับทาง AP Honda นะครับและสปอนเซอร์ทุกคนนะครับก็ผมขอบคุณมากครับ
Thank you so much, Krichapan. We'll have Ratafak share with us what he just spoke.
He talking about yesterday he learned a lot from the first race. He tried to understand the race and improve his riding style. But first of all, he want to say thank you to all the whole team and all fans, sponsor. All the year we try to work very hard until this race. It's like a home race, and we got the podium. He say thank you to everybody to come here to support him. Everything he very grateful to be on the podium today. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Ratapa and Krichapan. We will see them on the podium shortly.
Good interviews and a good bit of photo bombing there from Fujihara and the Kawasaki team. Race result is under investigation, so we need to just put an exclamation mark or an asterisk next to everything. So we will report that as soon as we possibly can. But let's have a look at the race itself. Starting on pole was Krichapan. Alongside him was Anupam Sarmoon, Andy Mohammed Fadli on the front row. And those three, in the end, Steve Martin, were to have an important role to play in this race, which without achieving the excitement of yesterday, still managed to give us a fabulous finale.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a fantastic race throughout, and thankfully the number 108 machine, Andy Fadley, was able to get to the end this time. But what a great race it was for a number of reasons. Critchy was able to be right up there from the start. And of course, Super Mario, he needed to have a good result, and he showed this time out that he was up for the challenge.
Astro Honda Racing have had a season to remember for Arvind Sanjaya, who's had a frustrating time of it so far. Arvind, he's had one victory and, well, 2 victories and now 2 second place in the latter part of the season, but before that he just couldn't seem to get the points together.
Well, you know what, when your teammate's Reza Danica, it's very, very hard to win, and the amount of winning that Reza Danica did this year, you would expect to see him up at the front a lot more. He did make his way up to the front though, but it wasn't going to be there. He was struggling a little bit, perhaps with the wrist injury that he had from earlier on in the weekend, but he didn't have the pace of this front bunch towards the end of the race, but he was certainly up there and part of the challenge.
Everybody very wary of corner number 12. This is about the midpoint of the race, and even there you can see that some of the riders are being pushed a little bit further wide than they'd like to, because the guys are racing. There's 7 bikes out there. There's only a certain amount of tarmac on the track.
Galang Hendra was up in that group as well for a period of time, and once again having a good ride. Faded off towards the end of the race, but good to see. Anupab Sarmoon always in the mix, looking at some points that he was on for the victory, especially on the last lap as he crossed the line in 4th position, exactly where you want to be.
In the pit lane, the tension begins to show. Arwin is just on the shoulder there of your so-called Super Mario. Andy Mohammed Fadley rode really well, the Mantech Kawasaki. Then the pressure, that's trying to get into position. Anupab Sarmoon, desperate to get in position on this last corner.
Certainly, he dove up the inside, which was good, but then Andy Fadley gave it his all. Owen Sanjaya got the best drive of the lot out and went over the line to take the win, with Andy Fadley in second, and Critchiport got his podium. So it was a great result for him.
And the checkered flag goes to Arvind Sanjaya, 2 wins in the last 3 races, but plenty to celebrate also for Kawasaki Fujihara leading the celebrations, and they are the 1, 2, 3 bikes. Excellent way to end the season. 12 races. Reza Danica, the outstanding rider throughout, but he didn't have the best time in Buriram. This time he's handed over to his Astro Honda teammates. On the podium will be the 1, 2, 3, which is Critchipon, Andy Mohammed Fadley, and on pole, on top, Arvind Sanjaya. We've got the Indonesian national anthem, and then we'll have the prize giving. Well, it's always good to be on the podium, and these faces look younger and younger. Steve Martin, you're celebrating your 50th birthday today. Do you wish you were back out there racing still?
Not right now, no, not that you put it that way, but boy, the way that some of these guys are riding out there is just incredible.
Sumray Siangaran, the Assistant Regional Sales Manager for Chang, who are the sponsors of this wonderful circuit, the Chang International Circuit. He's handing out the prizes. Krichipon, pretty good weekend for Krichipon. I mean, his first ever pole and his first ever podium.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not easy to get pole in this class at a track like this, and to get on the podium in a competition that tough. Boy, he had to work for it, he earned it, and he did it. So great for him. But Owen Sanjay, perhaps been in the shadow a little bit of his teammate. He's done a great job.
Certainly has. Been on the podium second or first in each of the last 4 races. Had been competitive. He had a podium in round 2 as well. But, well, nice to end the season like this with the podium for the AP250. Krichipon, Andy Mohammed Fadli, glad to see the Kawasaki there. But Owen Sanjay, he is top of the lot. What does that mean to the overall standings? Well, I'll tell you what it means to the overall standings. Reza Danica could not be caught. Champion, way clear with 215 points. Arwin Sanjaya, that win leapfrogs him over Anupab Sarmoon into second. Rafid Topan couldn't close that gap, third. Even so, 146 points, a very good season. Mario Sorio, that should be so much better. 4 DNFs in there. If he had a couple of podiums, he's really competing with Reza Danica for the title. Further down, Krichipon, his podium today gets him 63 points. Richard Turo from Indonesia and Farozi from Indonesia completing the top 15. Akito Narita, who was a rare competitor from Japan, in 19th. And well, they are the top. And now our focus comes once again onto the champion, Reza Danica Aran from the Astra Ronda Racing team. Let's have a look back at his season. Congratulations to Astra Honda Racing's Reza Danica Aran. If you win 6 races out of 12, you're on the podium in another 2, then you pretty much deserve to be champion, Steve.
Well, absolutely, yeah. The double win in Australia, double win in Suzuka, and also a win in India, and then also Indonesia. He just was so fast everywhere that he went. Really deserves that #1 on the helmet and on the bike. So just a fantastic ride by him throughout the year. Such a strong rider.
And he's only a small fella, but well built.
Absolutely. Small is good on these machines, but I just can't believe the consistency every race. I mean, you've just seen how somebody can finish 3rd in one race and then 10th in the next, but not this guy. This guy is incredible.
Again, Sumray Siangan is the man handing out the rather nice vase. Don't drop that one, Reza. That would smash into a lot of pieces. But look after it, cherish it, because trophies are difficult to win. World Championships, you won one, Steve. They are very tough to win.
Well, you know what? He'll certainly remember this one. It's a beautiful trophy. It's a year's worth of work in his hands right there. The Astra team should be very proud of that rider.
And they are. Look at that. Hopefully we can have a chat with him. Our hard-working, intrepid reporter, Wheeling, is down there amidst all the muscles and the brawn. And let's see if she can talk to the champion for the AP250s, Reza Danica Aran.
Start wrapping up the 2018 season with exactly what you wanted, the overall trophy. Share us, how has the entire season been?
Yeah, maybe I get championship title in Indonesia. Maybe not my expectation. Can get championship in my home race. Yeah, this season maybe very tough for me. After beginning of the season, not so good for me. Some difficult when the race, and after that in the second race, second round until Sentul can be make a good race and maintain to the top performance. And today maybe not my best performance, but I'm happy can do the best for the race, and congratulations for Awin for second win for this season. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Reza. Congratulations on being our champion this year.
Indeed, congratulations. Listen, I do hope you're enjoying our coverage from the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championships. We're in Eastern Thailand. Do not go away. We have got a sensational finale coming your way. The Supersport 600cc. 4 riders go into this final race of the season with a genuine chance of coming out as victor. It's a fabulous finale. Do not miss it. We're back in a couple of minutes' time.
High-speed satisfaction. Never mind the obstacles. When you're slow, lambat tinggal.
A very warm welcome back to Buriram at the Chang International Circuit. And we've still got one race to go here, the Supersport 600cc, which I promise you will be a fabulous finale. I guarantee you it. Do not go away. Before we get to this race, though, I'd just like to throw our minds forward to 2019, where 1000cc bikes are going to be introduced to the Asia Road Racing Championships for the very first time. For the Superbikes, they will be racing at this Chang International Circuit next year. It's one of 7 venues for the circuit next year. We'll be racing here twice at Sepang. We're also going to Korea for the first time. But let's look forward to 2019 and the Superbikes. And we caught up with Wayne Hepburn for the Next Gen Motorsports to see what they hope to get out of the 2019 season.
Next Gen Motorsports is an Australian-based superbike team, and we've been discussing with the Asian Road Racing Series to come over and compete for 2019. So we've got Glenn Ellerton, who's 3 times Australian Superbike champion. He's going to be riding the BMW Superbike. So yeah, we've come over for the tyre test after the final round. Pretty much it's going to be a lot of work because in Australia we run different tyres. So so obviously new tracks for us all. Glenn's been to probably half the tracks the series runs. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We're excited. We've come over with half the team at the moment just to sort of get a feel for it and meet people. And that's the biggest thing for us is, we don't know anybody here. So trying to build relationships and those sort of things, and obviously from a racing perspective, support. So this weekend's about meeting people, getting people to know Next Gen. Said like in Australia we've been very successful, even though we're a privateer team. We still run up there with the factories and those sort of things, and we come over here not to make the numbers up, but to be more competitive, and like we want to win the championship. In Australia, as again, we're all volunteers who run the team. We haven't got a lot of sponsorship, and we all put our own time and money and those sort of things in. And we focus on trying to bring the younger guys through that haven't got the money or the resources, but have got the talent. And for the last, even though we've won a couple of Australian Superbike championships and those sort of things with the older riders and more experienced riders, we've always got at least one rider who's coming through. Like this year we had a rookie Superbike rider who won the Supersport championship last year in Ted, who actually raced here at a World Supersport round. And also we had a 300 rider last year who stepped up to Supersport 600 this year. And then again, we provide the rides for them, where not a lot of teams would do that. Everything's about paying for a seat and those sort of things these days. So, as I said, we're passionate about racing. We do what we can within our means. Sometimes that makes it pretty hard, and those sort of things, but yeah, we're pretty proud of our efforts.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a few years since I've competed in the ARRC, but the series has grown, and the MotoGP's been here, and I always watch World Superbike races, so the opportunity to come here is something that I couldn't turn down. So I'm excited to come here and try and put our best foot forward. We have some challenges that we have to face coming into this. That'll be exciting to try and get our head around that, and that'll be challenging as well. And just the new circuit and the heat are going to be something to get our head around. But I'm pretty confident we can do well.
Next Gen Motorsports on the grid in Buriram next year in the 1000cc. Now, Steve Martin alongside me. Australians don't get involved just to make up the numbers.
They certainly don't, and not that team. It's a team that's won Australian championships in the past. Of course, Glenn Alton, as we heard, 3-time Australian championship. Nobody knows who they are, and they don't know anybody. But I'll tell you what, by the first round next year, everybody will know who Next Gen Racing is. They're a good team, a family team, and boy, there's a lot of experience in there too. So really looking forward to seeing them cut a few laps Tuesday and Wednesday at the Dunlop Tyre Test. It's going to be here, held at Buriram, with a few of the other teams that are making their debut in the ASB series next year.
Okay, that's next year. Now then, let's focus on the here and now. It's the Supersport 600cc, the finale to the season, set up by a great race that took place yesterday, in which there was a controversial ending, which we'll focus on. But at the very start of it, Ratapong Willarot, he knew that if Ratapong won back-to-back wins this weekend, he would win it. Ratapong did his first part of the deal.
He certainly did. Ratapong, what a weekend he had. He just took off out of the blocks and was the man to beat. From pole position, he led into the first corner. He's been fast all weekend. The one thing that he didn't count on was his teammate being so fast for the first time this year and right on the back blocks. But look at that. That was a big crash. Zakwan Zaidi went down and re-injured that wrist. It's now confirmed that he won't be racing today, but Zakwan Zaidi has gone down, and that was the end of his championship hopes for 2018.
Okay, as we look at this race, this is Yudhishthira. He's in third place. Aslan Shah Kamrazaman, his teammate, was pushed wide when Zakwan was pushed off. Aslan Shah dropped down to 21st, and then he went on a fantastic run up the places, and he needed to finish 6th. If he finished 6th, he would still have a chance of winning the title.
Oh, absolutely. Aslan Shah, what a ride he had. He was coming through the pack, passing them thick and thin. The lap times were coming down as he was catching up to the guys up ahead. He was it was a countdown to catch Kurihara, and he managed to do that on the last lap. Yudhishthira put in a good ride as well, but out front, it was the two Yamaha guys that were just sensational. Ratapong Willarot on the last lap did a 39.3, which was faster than most of anybody else had done in qualifying. Yudhishthira probably had the best ride of his career on the 600, and of course he had some good company too. Kenneth Kubo there and Koyama, the shadow. bringing up the rear.
Now, we were interested to see if Danica Chrysler would be the good guy and let Ratapong win through. You suggested he would, and he did. So he's got a wingman today, Ratapong, which might be crucial.
Well, he's going to need it because it's going to be a big, big day. Any one of three guys can win today. Kenneth Kubo, of course, doing the best job he could with Koyama on that last lap, gave it everything that they could to try and pull it down.
Now then, it came to this final lap. The victory went to Ratapong, bike number 56. If he repeats this victory again, he will be champion. If he doesn't, Amadou Stera can win it if he gets victory because he got third place. And the big news is that Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, because of this run wide, was able to pick up a place and come sixth. A victory today, and he can win it too, Steve.
Yep, absolutely. Kurihara was penalised, and unfortunately for him, put back, which moved Aslan Shah into that championship position.
Okay, we'll look at that in just a moment. But here's Zakwan Zaidi. Now, he had an inadvertent influence yesterday. He injured his wrist. He went into the race with a wrist injury.
Yep.
You said it might impact him. It impacted him on the very, very first lap.
Yeah, it certainly did. He's definitely not looking too good there. That's very heavily bandaged up, and there's some serious damage done to that wrist now. Luckily for him, he's got a little bit of time to sort himself out. But I'll tell you what, I'm sure that he would have liked to have been riding at the tyre test coming up in a couple of days' time.
I think so. He would have loved to. I'm sure we'll see him in the thousands next year. Right, I'm wondering if we can direct our guys to go back to that moment of Aslan Shah yesterday. It was quite controversial because Aslan Shah came 7th, but the person who came 6th was pushed down 5 places, Kaisuke Kurihara. If we look at the Vision Y, can you explain why
Sure.
Kurihara was dropped down 5 places?
Kurihara was under so much pressure. He saw that gap coming down. He knew he had to brake deep. He braked deep. He used more than the track. You go out there, you get a penalty. It's as plain as that. It's black and white. If he stayed on the ribble strip there, no problem. But he went out onto the green, that's a penalty. So unfortunately for him, he's knocked back 5 places. And fortunately for Aslan Shah, boy, he got a get out of jail free card.
He was one of 3 riders who were docked 5 places by the judges who were working late into the night last night. But it does mean that the defending champion, Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, has a chance. Here's the standings as it is. Anthony West isn't racing today. He can't do anything. But if Ratapong wins, Ratapong will win the title. If Amadou Stera wins, Amadou Stera will win the title. If Aslan Shah wins, Aslan Shah Kamruzaman will win the title. If none of them win, Anthony West wins the title.
Okay, so the winner takes all is what you're saying. It's going to be a very interesting 600 race is all I can say, because the top 3 guys in the championship have got nothing to lose. They've got to go for the win or nothing. There's no point finishing second for any of those guys. It's going to make it so close.
Okay, let's have a talk about them. Let's talk about them individually. Ratapong Willerot, 116 championship points, comes from a famous motorsports family. Again, he rode so well, and he's got Danica Chrysler as his wingman.
Absolutely. He's had a reasonably quiet year, but I'll tell you what, he's been building and building and building, and if he wins this race this afternoon, he deserves to be the champion. So he's got it all to play for. He must be feeling pretty confident, the only man in the 38s in qualifying, and also so fast on race pace, even on those hard Dunlop tyres. So everything to play for him.
Okay, let's move a little bit further back on the grid. Amadou Stera. He is also a man who, if he gets a good start, if he can stay close to the Yamahas, he could win this for Kawasaki.
He's certainly come of age this year, hasn't he, Stera? He really has become a guy that has been able to ride this Kawasaki over the limit, and we saw that yesterday. The way that that bike was moving around, the way that he had it set up, it was absolutely incredible.
5 podiums in his last 7 races, none of them a victory. So he needs a victory, he needs to break it. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, he was given a lucky break yesterday. Only 8th though in qualification. Has he got it in him?
Well, last year's champion got a get out of jail free card last race, so he's got it all to play for. He knows what it takes. He's been in this position before. He knows how to win a championship. He's got Fujiwara in his side. They're telling him what to do. I tell you what, the pressure is on out there. It's a pressure cooker of a race, this one. There's all to play for.
Well, he's looking very, very relaxed, Aslan Shah, Kamru Zaman.
Use
Let's
your
see
head.
how he gets.
That's what he said. I just saw that, Fujiwara. Use your head.
Okay, right. It's not just about these three, though.
No.
There are other riders out there, and we've mentioned him already. And Wheeling is down on the pits. I think she's ready to talk to a man we like to call the Shadow, Koyama.
All right, down here on the grid with Tomoyoshi Koyama, who is the front runner for the Honda today. So Koyama, of course, all the attention we know are on the Yamaha and on the Kawasaki. But you as a Honda, you're not going to go down without a fight on the final race of 2018.
Yeah, for sure, very, very difficult. But okay, never give up. I will be so hard to push. Also, I think for me, the final race, the Asian Championship. So, maximum to life today.
All right, thank you so much, Koyama. Good luck for the final race. And we're going to go further down the grid. We're going to see one of the Kawasaki riders from Malaysia. We have Zulfami Khairuddin. So Zulfami, this is his race this season with Team ZK Racing. So we're going to chat with Zulfami and see how has things going. So Fami, of course, the last race of the season. How are you looking forward to it?
Well, yesterday I made a good start, and to be honest, I feel really good. And then I went out in the turn 3 because Zakwan crashed, and then step by step I catch the front. But today I just want to stick with the front guys.
All right, good luck, Fami, for the final race of 2018. While the riders get their helmets and gloves on, we are going to send it back to Des and Steve in the studio.
Thank you very much, Wheeling. Yeah, it's not just about the three. I also need to quickly ask you about Randy Krumanak, Steve, because there's a potential spoiler in the party.
Well, there's more than one potential spoiler. We've got Randy Krumanak out there, of course. He won the Supersport, World Supersport race here. He's got good form at this circuit. It didn't work for him yesterday. Sheridan Morais, who's also a World Supersport campaigner. He's another guy out there that could run well. Detcha Kreisart, we've just seen on your screen. He's good. Kenneth Kubo, will he be taking team orders now? Yamaha team orders, not his team to stay behind and help. Of course, the Kawasaki's all to play for. It's going to be no team orders in that team because whoever wins, wins, and each one of those has got a chance to take it out.
That was a great point you made about the Yamaha boys sticking together. And of course, Weebike Ikazuki, Randy Krumanek is the man who can spoil it and win it for the absentee, Anthony West.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably why he's been brought in for sure. You know, he's got the form. If you're going to put anybody on that bike, he would be the man to do it. But Aslan Shah, the weight is on his shoulders. He does not want to lose that #1 plate.
He doesn't want to talk to the cameras either. That was a rather snapping down of the helmet. Sorry, fella. We'll let you go now. Alongside him, Kaisuke Kurihara, who inadvertently has set up this fantastic finale. Next to him, you mentioned a potential spoiler, Sheridan Morais.
Now, I know that these guys have had some problems with their bikes. They've been working frantically on them overnight to stop them overheating. They were having overheating problems in the race yesterday, and that was causing them to have a slower top speed than you would expect on the straight. So the word has come back through, but if they've got it right, they will be up near the front.
Ratapong on pole with a very useful sidekick, a former champion, Detcha Kreisart, a teammate. I'm assuming here that if you were ever put in this position, you listen to team orders.
Well, in theory, that's what you would expect. I've seen cases where that hasn't happened before, but we know that Detcha Kreisart is a really good team player. Ratapong Willarot, he's riding very fast here this weekend, pole position. He's got everything in his favour, but he's got to get through this first lap because they're all there. You can guarantee when they head into turn 3 that he's not going to have a lead by 3 or 4 seconds like he might at the end of the race. So that will be the time on the first lap when everybody has to strike and try and slow those Yamahas down.
This is the formation lap, and we'll point out the numbers and the liveries of the key personnel. But as they line up, Ratapong bike number 56. He is on pole. Dacia Kreisart will be his wingman. Kemint Kubo, an all-Thai front row, an all-Yamaha front row. On the second row, the Kawasaki of Ahmed Yudhistira. Grandi Krumenecker, do look out for him. I do have a feeling that the Swiss is going to have a big role to play today. Tomoyashi Koyama, you let him out of your sight at your peril. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman from Malaysia, the defending champion, bike number 25. Kurihara pushed him hard yesterday. Sheridan Morais, also a potential spoiler. On row 4, Citisak. Yuki Ito is a top-class competitor from Japan. Zulfami Khairudin, one of these days is going to make us sit up and take notice, Zulfami. Pasowit, Andy Farid Idzaha and Kazma Daniel. That's a very decent-looking row 5. Row 6, Amrul Hafiq. Tiger Harder, there's some youthful experience there. Tiger's been in this competition for a good 4 years. Jerry Salim, last season's 250cc champion, is a wild card here on row number 7, the Indonesian, alongside Thailand's Warit and Ramdan Rosli from Malaysia, Carol Ikwan and Patrick Lee, the Australian. That's a good standard man to have down on row 8 of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see Patrick here. But he also rides for the Wee Bike team. But I don't think he'll be challenging up near the front. He's a great rider, but you know what? It's he's going to just enjoy this ride and hopefully finish it. Look at the number 64 there, the way that Kemnis Kubo is just pumping up that adrenaline as he heads to the line. He knows how important this first couple of laps is. Everyone's got their different things that they do. Look at him there as you head down the straight, heading towards the start there. He really is pumping himself up. He is after a good start as they come to line up now. And look at Aslan Shah as well. He's just having a moment to himself there. You know that when he's in that mood, he's going to give it everything he's got.
Tension. Even Fujihara's not smiling. Gosh, it's serious.
Tyre-wise, before we get to the start, Des, everybody's on the hard rear. There's a sprinkling of medium fronts. The fronts is just personal choice, but it's going to be a pretty even race with everybody on that hard rear.
Okay. Good start. Vital, particularly for the Kawasaki's of Yudhistira, P4, and Aslan Shah, P7. Ratapong on pole. The lights will go on, and then we are underway in the final round of the 250s, and Ratapong has got a flyer. Aslan Shah closed up as well, but Ratapong Willarot needed a good start, got a good start.
Yeah, that is exactly what he needed to do. The two Yamahas behind him as well, his teammate and Kemnis Kubo. What a train that you would like to have behind you heading towards your first championship on the 600. So a great start by Ratapong Willarot, but the Kawasaki men, there's Koyama there as well. You said watch out for him, but look at Kubo up the inside there. Is he blocking the line, or is he looking for a way past?
I'm suspecting there's going to be a little bit of three abreast wing formation for the Yamaha team, but just right behind Ahmed Yudhistira has got himself ahead of Kemint Kubo, and Aslan Shah is close enough, but Koyama's there. Also at the back of that group who's made a good start was Koyama. That's exactly who he was talking about.
Well, Yudhistira is in very good positioning at the moment. Aslan Shah is a lot further up than he was at this time yesterday too, so the main contenders are where they need to be.
Zakwan Zaidi is an injured absentee. Let's remind you of that as Aslan Shah goes inside Koyama. So he's up now to P5. Only P1 counts. Winning is everything. Losing is nowhere.
Well, absolutely. You need to win this one if you want to win this championship, and it's definitely all to play for those three in the championship. Ratapong Willarot, of course, the most likely winner. He had the pace yesterday, but it's his teammate Dacia Kreisart at the moment that is stretching the lead out. 2 or 3 bike lengths gap, and those two guys vying for the championship, but they need to win.
As they go through, Dacia Kreisart leads by 0.628 from Ratapong, Yudhistira, Kubo and Aslan Shah. Kurihara's there, Koyama 7th. Krumenacker into 8th place. That's a dropping down, so Krumenacker might not be the wildcard spoiler we thought.
I tell you what, the man leading the race at the moment, Dacia Kreisart, is doing a fantastic job. And look at this, Yudhistira has gone through into 2nd position. What a great move, and he's run Willarot wide.
16 and a half laps to go, so let's not get too excited. I think everyone needs just to settle down and just make sure they don't make mistakes, make sure they get in a good position. Or is it a case of you really set a marker in these first few laps?
Well, if you look at what happened in the races yesterday, I mean, the Yamahas, they just took off and went into the lead and disappeared into the distance. The Kawasaki's can't afford to let that happen today. And that's what Yuta Steera is doing right now. He's giving it everything he's got. He's riding this first couple of laps like it's a last lap so that he can stay with them.
How about the setup? You had a great observation yesterday about the Kawasaki setup. As they come into these next corners, can you see anything in what they're doing?
Well, he still looks fairly loose in the rear there. He hasn't had much time to ride settled yet. He's still riding on pure adrenaline in these first couple of laps, pretty much giving it everything that he's got. He certainly doesn't look as smooth as the man out front, Danica Kreisart. His Yamaha, once again, is just looking completely planted on the track. Looks like he's doing it easy. In fact, Willerot Rathpong looks like he is struggling a little bit.
Just a little bit. This is good news for the absentee West as they go through. It's Kreisart with a 0.76 lead. That is a big lead. Rathpong follows, and then you've got Yuta Steera, then Kenneth Kubo. So Yamaha 1, 2 and 4. Behind them, Aslan Shah, Kamruzama. Here's the start.
Just see it looks pretty clean at that point. A little bit of smoke from one of the bikes backfield, but Rathpong Willerot got the best jump off, as did Aslan Shah. Look at that, Aslan Shah got a great run, but then he got shunted out wide, rear end of his bike moving around, tried to tip it in on his teammate, but there was no room there, lost a couple of places, so a little bit of work to do. You can see him there now, back in 5th position. He's losing the back of the pack.
It certainly is, so Yuta Steera is able to keep in close contact, and Rathpong Willerot, it'd be interesting, I tell you, if Danica Kreisart has got the job of pacemaker, what happens if Rathpong Willerot drops behind Yuta Steera?
Well, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what he does. I think that in the end, the Yamaha men will have to stay behind unless the Kawasaki man gets up in front. In that case, it's game on. So that's Danica Kreisart's only hope of victory in this race if he can race with Yuta Steera.
Patrick Lee had a dreadful start. He's a long way out. I think going into the pits is bike number 93, Carol Ikwan. Into the pits and having a tough time. That's at the back of the pack, having no trouble whatsoever. Danica Kreisart, the former champion, Yamaha Thai Racing, and he's taken Willerot along with him. Right, what's happened there to Yuta Steera? Yuta Steera's been blocked off by Kevin Kubo, and Kubo playing the team game.
Willerot has just done a fantastic lap time. Rathpong there has a 39.3. Brilliant lap time. He took him 1 or 2 laps to warm up, but he's certainly got the pace now. But Kenneth Kubo has just run off of the circuit. Whether that will affect his result, I don't know.
There are big smiles there, big smiles on the Yamaha racing team. They're looking extremely confident in the pits. A bit premature for that, gents.
Well, it certainly is, but at least now there's some breathing space between these guys. It's just a matter of now Danica Kreisart, he's going to have to pull Rathpong Willerot along, and then if he can do that, then he's got to relinquish the lead. But with the pace that the man in second had at the moment, I truly believe that Rathpong Willerot has got the pace to win on his own merit.
As you said, 39.308 his last time. That would have been enough to get him onto a second row of the grid in qualification, and he's posted that on just the second lap.
And just remember that these guys aren't using soft qualifying tyres now. They've got the hard Dunlop rear tyres on, of course, very aggressive around this circuit.
Yuta Steera, sorry, getting in there ahead of Kevin Kubo. That's important for Yuta Steera. Kubo, well, he doesn't want to let him get away, but has Yuta Steera got the pace to catch up with Willerot?
It's going to be really, really difficult for him now. Aslan Shah, though, he seems to have found a little bit of pace too. He's really starting to make his way forward as well. But, yeah, Yuta Steera, he cannot afford to waste any time battling with Kenneth Kubo at all. He needs to get clear of him if he's got any chance. And then he's got nothing to lose. Third place is a great podium, but it's a way to lose the championship in this case.
As they go through, Randy Krumanaka is 5.9 seconds down on the race leader in 9th. Tiger Harder, UK Ito, I think these front 5, front 6, if you include Koyama, are pulling away from everybody else. And looks at this stage, even with 14 laps to go, as if the podium's there.
Wow, the way that he threw it into that corner. Yuta Steera is just completely sideways. He's giving it everything he's got. You've got to give him that, the youngster.
You're loving this, aren't you? You're loving this.
Well, I can just see how hard he's riding on that ZX6. He really is pushing it to the limit, and he's riding with his heart out there on track at the moment. And he's going to need to ride a little bit harder if he wants to catch those guys in front. They were in the 40s, that group, last time round. The leaders in the 39s.
Kubo is right on the tail of Ahmad Yudhishthira, the Indonesian in the Kawasaki. This is Dacia Krysov. It's a torrid pace that he's setting, but I tell you, Rataponga's been able to go along with him. Can Yudhishthira stay there? Kubo looks on the inside. Kubo takes the inside line and moves back into third place. This racing is hurting Ahmad Yudhishthira.
Absolutely, it's definitely not what he needs. And I guess if you look at the two bikes as a package, the Yamaha's a newer model. It's a more aerodynamic model, and you know, that's going to help at this big long circuit. Aerodynamics count, and Kenneth Kubo is certainly making it up there, but this is going to push him wide. Yudhishthira uses all the track. Kenneth Kubo goes off track at that point.
That's a couple of times that's happened. I understand him going off track there, but Yudhishthira, as you say, playing, using his heart. Aslan Shah, we know Aslan Shah's got heart. He showed that yesterday. He's shown it numerous times over his career, but this just looks like it's too big a gap.
I think it's just a bit too much for Aslan Shah this weekend. He hasn't showed the pace, truthfully, this weekend that we've seen him have all year long. He's just been 1 or 2 tenths off, and once again, as they head into that turn 3, up the inside goes Kenneth Kubo. Big braking manoeuvre, and poor old Yudhishthira has to do it all again. He's giving him a wave down the straight saying, leave me be, this is for my championship. Kenneth Kubo doesn't care though.
Certainly doesn't. He's on the Yamaha. He's wearing that Yamaha badge on his heart. I can tell you that Kazma Daniel has had to pit alongside Ikwan Ajis down at the other end. Let's not forget them. Yuki Ito 10, Krumanaka 9, Zulfami in 8th place, the young Malaysian, lapping 140, but the leaders lapping 139.5.
Maybe there's a special bonus for every Yamaha rider that finishes in front of a Kawasaki this weekend. That's what it looks like out on track. Kenneth Kubo giving it everything he can.
Right, this is when Yudhishthira goes past Kenneth Kubo and has a word.
He says, please, I'm trying to win a championship here, and you're making me ride over my limit. And you just saw the rear end let go then. But once again, Kenneth Kubo lines him up on the brakes. Into turn 12 he goes and gets that nice tight line. And look at him. Yudhishthira is just shaking his head. He's so upset at him right now. And he's got a right to be, because the man on the number 64 has run off a couple of times in my eyes.
Okay, so Kubo, he's being the ultimate spoiler at the front end, so it's like athletics in some way. You've got a pace setter, and look at that pace now. It is 3.4 seconds to Kubo from Dacia Krysart.
Yudhishthira's mistake, though, is he's letting it get to his head. He needs to stay calm. He can't be shaking his head. He needs to compose himself and figure out why he can't stay in front. You know, there's got to be a reason for it, but he's riding flustered. Do you know what I mean? He needs to just take a deep breath and then get on with the job. Otherwise, he can say goodbye to this championship.
Well, there he has gone past into P3. As Kubo again stays close. Behind them, Aslan Shah Kamruzaman isn't too far away, 0.7 seconds. Kubo again takes the inside line. He's racing. He's got every right to race, but I understand, I hear where you're coming from. He's pushed the limits a little bit too much on occasion.
Well, last lap round, both of those guys were in the 41s, so they really were basically well off the pace. The two Yamahas out front just cruising in the 39, so they're just pulling away nicely with no dramas at all, and not a good day for Kawasaki at the moment.
As they come into turn 11.
I can understand Kenneth Kubo, though, as we go for another turn 12 overtaking manoeuvre. Yudhishthira, good drive out of there, stays nice and legal. That was better. That's not what you want to do there. I know you're upset, Yudhishthira, but you stay down, get on with the job. That's not how you're going to win the championship. You're going to win the championship by putting your head down, get tucked in behind the screen. You need every millisecond that you can get at the moment. But
it's helping Aslan Shah Kamruzaman in a way, but not really helping Kawasaki generally, because that is the gap. It's 4.6 seconds. Aslan Shah goes through into 4th place. Kubo Well, maybe he was upset, Kubo, and maybe he's listening. So, sorry.
Oh, I don't think so. I think like he's basically Kenneth Kubo. He's done everything he can do. His Yamaha's handling very nimbly and beautifully, but he can't put the fast laps together like the front two Yamahas can. But he can certainly give the Kawasaki's a little bit of trouble, and he hasn't finished yet, I don't think.
Maybe the Kawasaki's can get a bit of slipstream going to give them a chance. Team orders until the last lap.
Well, notoriously, the Kawasaki's do have a strong top end, and if you've got a motor with a good top end, it can certainly help you with the long straights here in Buriram.
Former World Endurance Champion Steve Martin with the analysis as Aslan Shah just cuts in tight on Kenneth Kubo. This is for P3 that they're watching. That's the race for P4. Out of in the distance, a full corner away. It's P1 here, where Dacia Kreisart is still leading Ratapong. Dacia wouldn't do the dirty, would he?
Well, you wouldn't think so, but I'll tell you what, last time round was very, very quick.
Kubo on the inside of corner number 12. This time, Aslan Shah will be the man who's a bit frustrated. But it's good news for Ahmed Yudhistira. He's got a little bit of a lead over Kenneth Kubo. And now he just needs to try and close the gap on the front two.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to do that. In reality now, they've got such a lead, those guys out front. It's 5 seconds back to the pack fighting for third. So that battle that we're looking at now is basically a battle for the podium now. So Kenneth Kubo probably got every right to try and win it.
Oh, Kubo's off. Just overdoing it, and that opens the field completely for Yudhistira and Aslan Shah. Kamruzaman, Koyama, the shadow is of course there. He can be spoiler, but this race now takes a different complexion.
Well, it certainly does. Koyama looks like he's going to sniff a bit of a podium chance now too, so good to see him. But it's all over for Kenneth Kubo as they head into turn 12 there. He's been pushing that front in mid-corner, just loses the front there, asks too much of that hard Dunlop front tyre that he had, and he didn't get away with it that time. Gets up quickly though, runs back to that bike, and as we saw, he's back on it. Hopefully he can finish the race.
For Yudhistira, the gap between Ratapong in second and Yudhistira in third is over 5 seconds.
Well, he would have to lap at lap record, or not lap record pace, but a flat 39, something which he hasn't been able to do for the rest of the race.
But he's been having somebody in his way. That might be.
Yeah, but if we look at the qualifying times, he's never been as fast as the lap times he needs to do, so he's just going to have to pull something special out of the bag now. 39.9 for Ratapong Willarot, who takes the lead. 39.6 for Koyama. That's a good lap time.
You never write off the shadow.
No,
Ratapong leading. Ratapong has taken Dacia Kreisart over the front. So Ratapong, Dacia Kreisart has maybe said, there you go, I've done my pace work. That's half the race. Ratapong Willarot go and take the title.
Absolutely. Still a long way to go in this one, and as we've seen, anything can happen. And when you're in a position like this, perhaps that's when something can happen, because you think, I've got the big lead. You don't want to slow down, because sometimes if you do slow down just that little bit, Des, things start to happen. They start to creep into your mind. You can lose the front. You've got to keep that pace up. You've got to keep that rhythm up. So that's what these two are doing out there now.
We saw the points graphic there. 5 points the lead for Ratapong. However, we need to tell you, if Ratapong comes second, picks up 20 points, he and Ant West, who's not racing today, will be level on points. West has won more races, so Ratapong must win.
Absolutely. So he is in the good position at the moment. If he's taken his teammate out to dinner last night and paid for it, he's in a good position.
One heck of a dinner. As Yudhistira still works hard. As you say, riding with his heart. But there is the gap. It's a long gap. From you're hunkered down over the bike and the helmet is in the way, it must seem like a mile away that those riders are.
I will say that the gap has come down. It was 5.5 seconds. It's now 4.7. So the gap is coming down. That can also play on the riders out front. If they see that time coming down, that will push them to go faster and perhaps ride beyond their limits. So fingers crossed.
There is Kenneth Kubo, the man who played spoiler for a long time on Yudhistira and felt the wrath of Yudhistira.
Looks like he's got a minder walking with him up pit lane as they go past Kawasaki too.
But there's the front two, Ratapong Willarot, potential champion in P3. Ahmad Yudhishthira, potential champion, P5. Aslan Shah, Kamruzam, and spoiler in P4 is Koyama.
Well, I'm really interested to look at that gap, because that gap has opened up to Koyama now, which means that Yudhishthira could be making his way forward. Really interested to see the finish of this lap, to have a look at those lap times. 39.6 he did last time. That was another 0.5 of a second, Des. So this might not be over yet.
39.346 was his qualification time. For Ratapong, he was 38.903. So even in qualification, the Yamahas were quicker. The gap is now 4.392. That is coming down.
Yep, he's doing what he needs to do. That's putting pressure on the guys out front. This race is not over yet. Ratapong Willarot will not like seeing that he is being caught up, because he will have that information on his lap board. And there goes Desha Kreisart. We saw him making that manoeuvre yesterday, just letting Ratapong Willarot know that he's there.
But there is the problem for Yudhishthira. Even if he catches up, he's going to have to bypass Kreisart and Ratapong.
Well, let's just keep an eye on that gap. It was...
it's come down again.
Yep, 4.2 now the gap.
4.279. It's not come down much. And is it enough as do they run out of time? 7 laps to go, Steve.
He needs to go faster. He needs to go harder. His... Fujiwara needs to be out there with the pit board and telling him, whatever you've got, lay it on the table. If you want to win this championship, you're going to have to go faster than that.
Aslan Shah on the tail of Koyama. Further down, Keisuke Kuwahara. Zulfami's having a good race. The Malaysian in 7th place. That little group just going around that corner. Andy Farid, Idzaha, Yuki Ito, Kramanaka. He was finding it not easy to come over to Asia and immediately compete.
Absolutely. Randy Krumenak has actually just done his fastest lap of the race, a 39.8. So perhaps he is starting to come to grips with it, but just a little bit too late.
Kevin Kubo pitted, Warrit pitted, Kazma Daniel out, Carol Ikwan out. At the front, well, every sinew was working there for Aslan Shah. You could feel the work he was putting into it. But sometimes hard work alone doesn't count.
Yeah, unfortunately for Aslan Shah, just not happening for him this weekend as it might. He's just 1 or 2 tenths off of the pace that he needs to be, and it would have been a completely different weekend for him. In qualifying, we saw that he had issues. He was shaking his head in qualifying. The lap times just weren't there. He had a great race yesterday to Aslan Shah. He did everything in his power to give himself a chance today, but he's just needs to find that little bit.
5th, 6th, 7th and 8th are the last finishers, plus a DNF for Aslan Shah. It's not championship material. Let's look down a little bit further, and this is the Randy Krumeneka group. They're the ones theoretically chasing.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too late for Randy Krumeneka to be on the podium at least, but he is having a good time out there on the Anthony West's machine here this weekend.
Andy Farid was leading as we come to P1 once again. Ratapong Willarot. We'll keep our eyes on this, because well, Dacia Kreisart will be wingman, will be guarding him. I can't imagine for a second he would not let Ratapong win this title.
Well, if he remains in that position, there's your total points, 141 versus 136. In my books, that will make him the champion.
You would be correct as well.
Absolutely. So I know that Team Yamaha now, you've got to imagine they're out on the pit wall. All of these riders have got pit boards with information being fed back to them. And the information being fed back is at the moment with 6 laps to go, you've got basically a 4-second lead. That's okay. But I'll tell you what, Desha Kreisart is not backing off, is he?
Well, he's not. I'm wondering whether he's protecting. I'm looking at him. He's shadowing him as Yudhishthira is now under pressure from Koyama. Yudhishthira needs to be worried about getting a podium, never mind winning the championship, because Koyama has done what Koyama does. He just sits in there, makes life difficult, worries you, punches that bruise as they go through. It's Ratapong, Dacia Kreisart, Yudhishthira, Koyama, Aslan Shah, Kurihara, Andy Farid, Krumenaka now up to 8th. As you said, he's making a bit of headway, Randy Krumenaka.
Yeah, Yuki Ito there as well. He's won a race this year, but seems to be struggling here at Buriram. Hasn't really featured in the races at all, has he?
Not really, no. Andy Farid was in a chance. No, Ito struggled this year.
Yeah,
he had a, well, from the very first, he had a win in round 2. Other than that, a couple of fourths.
Yeah, that win was a sensational win that he did have as well, because he had a big crash just before that. Then he managed to get it all together and get the victory there. So from that point on, I thought he was going to be a real challenger, but at the moment, he's not matching these Yamahas up front. They just seem to be in a league of their own at the moment. A lot of good people in that the Yamaha team, of course, there. In the Thai Yamaha team, they've got some European engineers in there. Just shows you the level and the respect that this championship gets from the worldwide sources to have that sort of help to win this championship.
A glum-looking Kawasaki pit, it must be said. I think they can see the writing on the wall. Yeah, there's 5 laps to go, 4.5 laps to go as they come into turn number 12 once again.
Well, this is Radabong Willerot's championship to lose right now. You can see Zesha Kreisart just looking over his shoulder, keeping an eye on that gap. It does look like it is closing down a little bit.
4:11.
Yeah,
3:85.
But it's too little too late, unless Udastira goes into full qualifying mode. But, you know, you can't do that for 4 laps in a row without something going wrong.
Ratapong with his protector, Dacia Kreisart. He's a good man to have as your bouncer, as your enforcer.
Yeah, Ratapong is just riding brilliantly at the moment, just so smooth. There's Aslan Shah. I think he knows the writing's on the wall for him. He won't be the champion.
The top 4 all riding similar times, 1:39.9s, all pretty much close. Aslan Shah a little bit slower. In fact, Kurihara is catching up to Aslan Shah. Koyama's getting away from Aslan Shah, so his reign as champion looks like it's over.
But I'll tell you what, the fight for 3rd place on the podium is on. 634 Koyama, of course. He's running that famous number 634, and when he sniffs a podium, he normally has a go, and he's in exactly the right spot to do that at the moment.
Ratapong, do not make a mistake. These are the last, 48 corners, less than that now, and the championship is yours. Dacia Kreisart, best lap, 1:39.555. Again, he's just acting as guardsman, as Udastira is now under increasing pressure from Tomoyoshi Koyama.
As they head onto that straight again, up they go, and that gap now, Des, is still stable, 4.1.
Yeah.
So I think the fight now is on for the 3rd place on the podium, isn't it? I think we can be assured that Rathabong Willerot, unless something crazy goes wrong, and it very well could.
Well, engines have failed in the last laps of races, or tyres have gone, or something has happened. Kreisart is riding so close, there is a possibility of some kind of an error.
Absolutely. I think he's putting so much pressure on. I think he wants everybody to see that he could win the race if he wanted to. That's what he wants to do. So although he's wingman, he's also applying the pressure to the man in the front of the race at the moment, Rathabong Willerot.
Udastira still in 3rd place. He's 3.826 behind Kreisart, which means he's 4 seconds off the pace with 2.5 laps to go. It's asking too much. It's a brave, valiant effort by Aslan Shah. Kamruzaman as well. He was given the boost of the elevation to 6th place yesterday to give him a sniff of a chance, but in all honesty, Aslan Shah, Kamruzaman's not been at the real pace he's needed all weekend.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out between these 2 guys, the battle for 3rd, because Koyama, he doesn't seem to be really able to attack. He doesn't seem to be able to stick his nose in or take that different line. He can sit in there and follow at the moment, but that's about it. He really doesn't seem to be able to outbrake. I mean, look at him, he's sideways there. We know how hard Udastira is in the braking area. He's very hard to overtake. So Koyama, will he pass? It's going to be difficult for him.
2 laps to go. The gap is 3.927, so it's come down, well, less than half a second, 0.1 of a second.
Yeah, there's not much to do now for Ratapong Willerot out front. All he needs to do is cruise around. I'm sure that Dacia Kreisart will just sit behind him, and that's what he needs to do. He just needs to bring it home.
Kreisart went out quickly, dragged Ratapong Willerot with him. And the pace that those two set was too much for Amadou Distera and for Aslan Shah Kamruzaman. And even the Honda, they've got a bit of a constructor pride to fight for here.
Absolutely, and also the championship, I mean, also for Koyama, he hasn't had a podium for a while. His last podium was back in India, so it's going to be good for him if he can perhaps make his way through onto the podium. I mean, championships out of the window for him.
Kreisart is lapping, averaging 140.199. Ratapong and Data Kreisart, identical lap times virtually. They have been for the last five laps.
Yeah, and I mean, those Thailand Yamahas look so smooth out on track, not doing anything wrong. You never see any slides. They go perfectly online. Just having a perfect weekend, and if Ratapong Willerot does get this next 12 corners right, he will be the champion.
He needed a perfect weekend. That was the only way he could win the title. It looks like he's going to have a perfect weekend. He leads coming into the final lap.
3.3 seconds the gap now, Des. That means nothing. There's no way he will lose 3 seconds in last lap. There is still this battle on, though, for third place in the last spot on the podium. Koyama wants everything, but you can have a look here as they head in there. Ratapong Willerot completely in line. Decha Kreisart, a perfect wingman.
Absolutely. Working hard in third place, Amadou Distera. He's still looking for the consolation of at least a podium, but this is like a long victory lap, a long celebration lap as they come down to corner number 4. It is Willerot, Ratapong Willerot leading Decha Kreisart.
Well, Udistira, of course, he's come on strong in the last part of the year. He's been on the podium in the last 3 races, so incredible for him. But it's all about this man out in front at the moment. Ratapong Willerot, what a result this will be for him here at Buriram track, his home track.
The celebrations have already started in the pit lane. Ratapong enjoying it. You could almost see a smile through that visor. You can't relax too much.
This will be the most nervous, nerve-wracking 3 corners of his life as he heads through here. There'll be things running through his mind. Has the bike, is it going to make it? Am I going to be okay? Will Decha Kreisart stay behind? And he will. It's going to be good, Des. It's going to be Ratapong Willerot's day.
1 corner to go. Ratapong Willerot enjoys the ride, takes the title. He needed back-to-back wins. Decha Kreisart does a wheelie in celebration. Ratapong Willerot, champion of the Asia Road Racing Championship Supersport 600cc.
And the Yamaha Thailand racing team, what a job they did here this weekend at this circuit. Home track, pole position, 2 wins, 2 second places. Doesn't get much better than that.
In third place, Amadou Distera picks up the podium ahead of Koyama. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman a brave 5th. Kurihara 6th, Andy Farid 7th, Ito 8th, Zulfami, decent result for him in 9th, and Passawit 10th. Krumanaka, the Swiss, brought in just to try to protect the Antwerp lead in the championship. He couldn't get any better than 11th today.
Yeah, what a great result. Look at the team there, tears welling up in their eyes. It's a well-deserved win. I mean, you've got to say, Des, that halfway through the season, you wouldn't have seen this coming, but Ratapong Willerot has worked extremely hard. He really has, and he's improved himself race after race, and he's won the race here today. He won the championship in what was just a brilliant display. The team have really deserved it, and boy, the celebrations will go long into the night.
You've got to go back to 2010 when Yamaha Thailand last won the title. Then it was Decha Kreisart. Since then, it's been a case of Honda and Yamasaki leading the way, but they've broken the spell. Decha Kreisart, champion then, wingman now, and Ratapong Willerot, part of a famous motor racing family, is the man who is now going to enjoy this moment.
Absolutely, what an incredible day for this man. It's just something you can see. There he is, he's waiting on the side of the track for his flag. What an honour that is to hold that flag up, your home flag, winning at home. He really does deserve this victory. The gloves are coming off now. Let's see if he's got some other celebratory material to put on. And yes, there it is, the #1 T-shirt.
It's almost like they planned it.
Well, you know what? It was a 1 in 4 chance, wasn't it?
Ratapong Willerot. The Thai flag will be there. Fabulous, fabulous performance by him. Not just today, but all weekend, and by the Yamaha team to be so dominant in such a competitive field. That is terrific. There is the final result. 30 minutes, 0.126 of glory for Ratapong Willerot on the Yamaha. Deicha Kreisart helping him out. Ahmed Judistira in third ahead of Koyama Aslan Shah. Kurihara Andy Farid. Ito for Japan on the Yamaha, and the Kawasaki for Zulfami Karudin in 9th place. Good result for Zul. 11th for Krumanaka, the Swiss. Good to see him here. Hope he comes back to this part of the world once again. Sheridan Morais in 13th, and completing the point scoring Azrai Hakim, Anwar and Ramdan Rosli. Just outside Jerry Salim. Good to see him back, but a disappointing 17th for him. Did not finish Kazma Daniel, Carol Ikwan and Warit. Whew. As we enjoy Ratapong coming back towards the Parc Ferme for the celebration, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the season. We're going to give you highlights of the Supersport 600, and we're going to have the podiums for this and for the overall championship. You're with the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championships. We're in Buriram, Thailand.
พี่ต้นมาพี่ต้นเคอยู่ไหนเค
Celebration time at the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championships. Ratapong Willerot from Thailand enjoying the moment because he has won back-to-back races this weekend, and he has gone and won the championships ahead of Anthony West, who wasn't racing this weekend. 141 points, back-to-back titles this week, adding on to a podium that he had in round 5 in Indonesia. He was a long way behind, 77 points behind he was going into Sentul, and the tears are flowing for Ratapong.
Yeah, I think it's a very special day for him, you know, to get that #1 jersey. But, you know, I'm just so happy for him, happy for the team. What a brilliant ride, and what a come through. I mean, they've just proved they've built and built and built, and they've been so strong.
Okay, let's go down to the pit lane, to the Parc Fermé, where Wheeling can give us some reaction.
All right, we just wrapped up the final race of 2018, and coming in third place today is Ahmad Yudhistira. Yudhistira, looks like you had a very frustrating race early in the start, being blocked by Kimi Kubo, and you were showing him many signals. Share with us what was going through your mind at that time.
Yeah, after start, I try a good start and then good position also. Exit turn 3. I think I will keep the gap with the Ratapong and Decha, but after that, second and third lap, Kemen Kubo coming, but he like not really fighting, but looks like try many time to coming to the out on the track to me. Then I try, please play the fair in this round, because this is last race to me. Then I also still have a chance for championship, fighting with Ratapong and Anthony. But maybe have some order and race too. I'm not so happy with the result, but I know this is a race and this is his home race also. It's okay. I think we can see in the next year we will fight again. Thank you.
But overall, this is a very good achievement for you, and also as an Indonesian rider, to be able to fight for the championship all the way to the very end. Do you have any people and teams that you would like to thank before we end the season?
Yeah, thank you so much to the Kawasaki manual tech team, then all my mechanic, because maybe seven years until now we working together, but we don't know for next year. Maybe we have a different plan and different situation also. I try to coming up to the next year and keep moving forward to next year. Thank you to team, my family, my wife, my daughter also always support me in my home. Then thanks to team, many working too hard 7 years with Kawasaki. Yeah, difficult to explain.
All right, thank you so much, Yudis. Congratulations on finishing the 2018 season on the podium. And coming in second place, we are going to try to speak to both Decha and also our 2018 champion, Ratapong Wilarot. Sorry, I need Decha.
Okay, Wheeling, as you can see, is trying her best to interrupt the party, but the party is going to go on without Wheeling. We'll try to get the talk with Ratapong, but you can understand celebrations have got to take centre point because you've worked so hard for this.
Well, yeah, here at home, first championship, first year with Yamaha. It's just so many positives and pluses and things that have all worked together. So, you know, his party has already started.
Nguyen Chidchob with the pat on the back. That's a good pat to get on the back. And Ron Hogg deserves our applause as well for bringing us a 22nd year of the Asia Road Racing Championship. Now let's get to Wheeling and the interview with Ratapong.
All right, back down here with second place finisher Decha Krajda. Decha, you did really well this weekend, of course, supporting your teammate Ratapong Wilarot to become this year's overall champion.
Yes, I really try hard today. I want to try to the champion for the Ratapong. Yes, I know Ratapong, he can really well in the riding. Yes, I really happy today. Okay, today second podium, I really happy. Thank you for my team. Thank you for my family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Decha, on finishing the 2018 season. And now we will speak to our brand new Supersport 600cc champion, Ratapong Wilarot. You pulled off exactly what you needed, a double win here in front of your home race to clinch the Supersport 600cc title.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you, my teammate, Desha Kaisat, that continue teaching me since I coming to the Yamaha, learning about the bike. He teach me about the ARRC characteristic, and I try to adapt myself with the bike, so I can be better every day that I riding the bike. So thank you so much for Desha that helped me a lot this year and also final round. And thank you very much to Yamaha Thailand Racing Team. Everyone that working hard since the beginning of the year, and now I can get a champion, and also Yamaha Motor and all sponsor, all my fans and family that always keep supporting me.
And lastly, of course, not many people may know, but today we are remembering your father, Christmas. How do you feel about today?
Yeah, for me, well, I'm very happy because today is like my father not stay with me like 2 December, and tomorrow is my birthday. So today very pressure for me to have a good result, but I try to keep calm and try everything that I have. So finally I can become the champion.
Congratulations, Ratapong, and stay tuned for the podium ceremony.
Lovely touch there from Wheeling. Yeah, Christmas Willarot was a regular on the Asia Road Racing Championships in the late 90s. At the same era as Derek Achawang was winning all the victories. But quite an emotional time there. You're remembering your father who was a rider, your brother's pretty good, you're on pole position, you've got to win 50 points, the pressure's piling on you, and helped by Dacia Chrysler, it's got to be said. Ratapong was able to cope with all of that and produce a very mature ride.
He certainly did. He had to get through this 30-minute race first, though, to come to this outcome, and he got off to a great start. Dacia Chrysler straight into the lead there. Kenneth Kubo was up there the front too, but the Kawasaki's, both of them got a better start than they did yesterday, and we thought at this point that it was going to be on for the championship.
Was it ever really on though, or was that maybe just us hoping that we could go into the final corner with these three neck and neck with each other?
Well, at this point at the start, it looked like Udistira could stay with Willarot till the end, but it wasn't to be. He went past at one point, but Kenneth Kubo in the back there, he had other ideas. He was making his way forward and started to become a bit of a problem. But right at the front, Udistira was doing everything that he had to do.
Ahmed Udistira was pretty scathing of Kenneth Kubo in the interview that we've just seen. It's very rare for a rider to say something straight after a race like that.
Well, it is, but this was a race of pure emotion. This was for the championship. This just wasn't for a winner's trophy or to get on the podium. This was a make or break race, and unfortunately for Ahmed Udistira, he was just giving everything that he could, telling the man on the 64 machine, the ASEAN Yamaha, to slow down, let me win my championship. I don't need you helping. But you've got to say that Kenneth Kubo was riding on the limit and over the limit, as we see just there. He lost it in turn 3, and that effectively was the end of the problem for Udistira.
But Koyama decided this was the time that he was going to make his own bid. As Kenneth Kubo, his race was over, 1 of 4 to go. But it's like a soldier looking after his charge here. Dacia Chrysler, 37 years, century work for him.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to say that Ratapong Willarot owes a lot to Dacia Chrysler for this championship. He's taught him about the motorcycle, he's taught him how to ride it, he's given him hints, and in the last race of the year when he perhaps could have taken a victory today, he did the right thing. He sat behind him, and he allowed and helped the number 55 to win the race here at his home circuit, which made him the champion.
It was a long victory lap for Ratapong. As you were saying, he'll be nervous, just don't make a mistake. He didn't make a mistake. Behind him, Ahmed Udistira was hoping these two would both make a mistake. That was never really going to happen, and as he races in, no pressure on him coming into corner 12, can enjoy it. There's a wheelie of delight from Dacia Chrysler, celebrations on the Yamaha pit wall.
Absolutely, what a fantastic race it was, and a deserved champion.
Thailand celebrating frustration for Fujihara and for Yamasaki. They gave it a go. They were in it until the very, very last race of the season.
Look at the emotion on Fujiwara's face. He's happy but not happy there. That's probably the unhappiest I've ever seen Katsuraki Fujiwara. Surely he knows that it was so close today. That championship just slipped out of their fingers. But you know what? There's always next year.
There is always next year. That's the joy of bike racing. And we've got 7 rounds for you next year. It's an expanded calendar. We've got new territories. We're going to go to Korea. We're here in Buriram twice. Back at Sepang in Malaysia for 2 events. We're also going back to Australia again. And, of course, to Suzuka. It's a really fabulous looking calendar for next year. But now let's just enjoy the final celebrations of this year as Daichu Chrysler takes his place in P2, and the champion, Ratapong Willarat, winner of back-to-back races, 77 points adrift going into Sentul. He has caught up all 77 points and is the champion. It will be the Thai national anthem that will sound so sweet to him.
เรียนเชิญทุกท่านยืนตรงแสดงความยินดีและเคารพเพลงชาติไทยครับ
Now like to invite Mr. T.
Thai national anthem rings out. Nguyen Chitchob offers his congratulations. This award will be presented by the chief sponsor of this and the last Asia Road Racing Championship rounds, Teiji Okamoto from Idemitsu Lube Asia Pacific. Our thanks to them for their sponsorship. Without the sponsorship, we don't get these thrilling races and these great personal stories. The Willarat family have got a fine tradition. We mentioned Christmas and the work that he did. That's the father of Ratapong and Ratapong Willarat. It's a family affair today, Steve.
Yep, certainly is. A lot of emotion on that podium. A lot of memories for Ratapong Willarat. He'll remember December the 2nd for sure, for many reasons.
So will you. It's your birthday, and December the 3rd's his birthday.
Absolutely. It's a good day.
It's a good day indeed. Yamaha Thai Racing Team pick up the team award completely justifiably. And there is the final act of this season. Amadou Distera on the Kawasaki from Manual Check KYT in 3rd. Daichu Chrysler and Ratapong Willarat in 2nd and 1st respectively. And Yamaha picking up the team award. And they are the bikes that did it. They are the lovely machines which are reaching speeds of up to 260 kilometers per hour. Here's the final standings. Terrific from Ratapong Willarat. Overhauling Anthony West, who only raced in 6 of the 12 rounds, but picked up 136 points. Rode brilliantly, West. Ratapong, though, just edging it over the duration of the season. Amadou Distera 3rd, just 5 points adrift. Aslan Shah, a creditable 4th for the defending champion. Koyama gets up to 6th ahead of Daichu Chrysler and Zakwan Zaidi with his points today. Zakwan moves down to 8th. He missed today with injury. Tiger Harder, a youngster, just outside the top 10. Kurihara and Kazma Daniel for Malaysia. They are young riders who we'll see plenty of next season. Irfan Adiansa completing the top 15. Sheridan Morais, 19th. Randy Krumanaka just rode this round. 12 points for the Swiss. Okay, right. The season has come to an end, but it would be remiss of us not to remind us of what makes a champion. This is the season of Ratapong Willarat. To the victor, the spoils. And for Yamaha, it's the end of a long season. If you get a reward of a championship, it makes it all worthwhile, Steve.
Certainly does. And you know what, Rillarot had a lot of good people in his corner as he heads up onto that championship podium. Only one person gets to stand in that spot at this time of the year.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And the photos, the sun goes down. It's you never look better. And that trophy. Oh, be careful, sir. Don't drop it. Handed out by Teiji Okamoto. Champion overall 2018 Supersports 600cc, Ratapong Rillarot. He joins the likes of, in Supersport 600, recent winners like Zakwan Zaidi, Aslan Shah Kamrazam, and Yuki Takahashi, Ryuichi Kiyonari, Fujiwara, of course, Daichi Chrysler, Chalern Paul Polomai, and Hamaguchi. It's a good sport. There's some pretty strong champions in there. That's this year done. We already have our thoughts beyond the Christmas break into the new year, and we've got our official testing starting early March at Sepang. Good to be back at Sepang. The first round, 8th to the 10th of March at Sepang. Then we move to the Bend in Adelaide, Australia for round 2. Chang International Circuit for 3. Suzuka, my favourite track, I've got to say, for round 4. Korea, a debut for the Korea International Circuit. That's in August of next year. Back to Sepang and the finale once again of the Chang International Circuit for round 7 of the expanded FIM Asia Road Racing Championships. Superbikes as well as Supersport 600s and the Underbones and the AP250s. 4 big races, 2 days of racing on each of those rounds. It's something to really look forward to. And so the season comes to an end. The champions have been crowned. We must give our thanks to executive producer Pauline, to Arif, who's been producing, to Orbit, who's been directing all of this work, particularly to the cameraman who work long, hard hours out in the heat wherever we go. Terrific work by them, to the sound crews, to the VT editors. It has been our absolute pleasure to bring you the Asia Road Racing Championships. Congratulations to all the riders and all the teams who took part today. From Steve Martin, big thanks to him to get him on board, me, Des Corkill. It's been our absolute pleasure. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage. We'll see you again in March.